What is up, Friday Nighters? Oh, you see Kylo the dog there. You just joined the podcast there. That's our pup Kylo there, unofficial mascot of Just Another Friday Night podcast. Welcome back, guys. I am CM Chuck. I am one of your two hosts of Just Another Friday Night. It is an extremely late edition of Just Another Friday Night, and it is a sadly solo edition of Just Another Friday Night. So I'm going to quickly get to the title here of tonight's episode. I'm going to do one of my open forums. I'm not going to keep it to 30 minutes like I normally do because now that the new way that me and Double A are doing things, we don't have to do the commercial anymore. We can record straight through and get all of the audio and all of the comments onto YouTube. I know you guys did 2 weeks without any comments being read, without a little lead-in, but I want to say big special thanks to Loverboy Jorge De Leon and to Jackie Boy, for filling in my absence the last 2 weeks. They both did a great job, and Double A did an extremely great job on hosting 2 episodes that I would not have been probably the best to speak on. NWA wrestling, although I'm a fan and love it, not nearly the depth of knowledge that those two brought you, especially together. And then last week with Dragon Ball Z, I did watch the Frieza saga and was a fan and used to own a Dragon Ball Z T-shirt back when I was way back when I was a size medium, but no longer. Yeah, but I didn't get really past that much. But it was great to have that conversation because there would not normally have been those talks wouldn't have got to happen. And I know we have fans out there that are fans of too many fans of Dragon Ball Z and anime, as well as I'm sure old school classic NWA wrestling. So Kara's in the house. Kara says Kylo is the new co-host. Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to have Kylo here. Forgive his diaper. He's not completely housebroken, so he likes to pee on stuff. Joe in the house. What's up, Joe? Joe says Han Solo. I don't know, Joe. I might drop you a link here in a minute, maybe on via Facebook, and get you to maybe give you a hot tag here into the ring. Jason's in the house. Jason says, what's up, bro? Jason, I did not forget the beer. Because, boy, do I need it after this week and everything that's been going on in the world. Cheers to you guys. Cheers. Joe says, only fans. Yeah. Only fanboy fans. You know, I've been wanting to go over and listen to an episode of friends of the podcast, the Geek Vengers. They do the Blurred Nerds podcast, and apparently there are now dating websites specifically for people that are into pop culture and geek culture. So I guess dating websites are drilling down into niches. I mean, I guess there always was, right? Christian Mingle and Farmers Only, but now there's a place for a home for geeks to mingle and date as well. So that's kind of cool. I want to hear his episode on what he thinks about that. Not that me or Double A is dating anyone except our significant others, but for other people, it's nice to know that they have options, right? Guys, let me tell you. So let's start off, right? So people probably, where were you, right? You know, did you have it? We had an engagement with there was Corona or COVID, whatever, I don't know what we're calling it anymore, Omicron, Unicron, Megatron. One of those was I had an encounter and it was in the house, and so I didn't want to wait. We did my no symptoms really, did my 5-day quarantine, and then having allergies, which apparently not allowed to say that anymore because allergies is what Omicron is apparently. I don't know. Don't follow me for news, but yeah, so somebody here says Facebook user says Marvel about to go balls to the wall again. I want to hear, give me your name, because right now it just says Facebook user. I guess you're joining me from the group probably, the Friday Night Faithful group. Excuse me, because I'm broadcasting live to there and our YouTube and just our regular page. So please drop your name in here in the comments, because I don't know who made that comment, but I want to know who said Marvel about to go balls to the wall again. Definitely agree. Yeah, so because of that, I didn't want to go to Double A's place and potentially, again, I felt fine. I've had 2 negative tests in the past 2 weeks, and I feel great, you know what I mean? So, but we just didn't want to take a risk, and so, we avoided contact with people, and we knew people that had got it, so there was that. Well, then in this week, the flip happened, right, to Double A, and we had a big event planned tomorrow to be out at Rolling Oaks Mall at WrestleFest, and I still want to encourage people that are masked up and that are feeling, like they're okay to go, and they maybe want to get out of the house, go do something, go over to Rolling Oaks Mall tomorrow for WrestleFest at Rolling Oaks Mall tomorrow, noon to 6. Please go support Oscar and his store and his event. He's with Wrestle Shop. We've already talked to Oscar. We really wanted to do this event together, me and Double A, but because we can't, because of the state um, um, of what we've encountered, we don't want to do that. So we've asked Oscar if we could potentially move our slot to his next available time. He does a wrestling event there at the mall, and he said yes, he was okay with that. He understood our situation, so we were very gracious and thankful to Oscar. But we Just Another Friday Night will not be at WrestleFest tomorrow at Rolling Oaks as we had originally planned. So I want to give that announcement up front, and I will do a post in our Facebook page and our group and our Instagram and all the places that we are, so that way people know that we will not be at WrestleFest as we had planned. However, I do encourage you, if you're feeling up to it, to go out there and mask up and socially distance and enjoy the event in a great way. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of great wrestling, and we definitely want to do the next one. We hope it's really successful for Oscar and for the Wrestle Shop, and then we'll be at the next one because we've already paid for our spot, and so we definitely want to do that. We've gotten some great support from Mario Delgado and Authority Comics has come in to help us. We've got some new merch from Deuces Mercado that we want to show off out there, and we've got some great stickers from Justin Martin with our new QR code logo, where you'll be able to scan. I don't have a shirt done of it yet, but you'll be able to scan the center code of our stickers and go right directly to our new website, which is www.justanotherfridaynight.com, and that's where you hit our link tree, and from there you can get to our TikTok, to our YouTube channel, to our Spotify, to Anchor, to all the places we are, Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. And we want you to go like, follow, and share us at all of those places. But yes, this is like essentially our official cancellation announcement, sadly, because I really wanted, I had people volunteering to help. Joe from Now Watch This offered to come out and help me. My sister had offered to come out and help me, but I really want to work that event with Double A and use it as an opportunity to get our name out there, and we are going to have some cool stuff for you guys when that happens, and it just gives us more time to be better prepared, the best prepared we can be, and get that going, and we're really hoping next week me and Double A will be back in the studio together. It's Corey. Oh, Corey, welcome, brother. I appreciate you here watching, man. Yes, definitely Marvel about to go balls to the wall. Things are getting good. And then Double A says, "Hey CM, it's Double A. What's up, Double A? You both come in as Facebook user, but maybe because you're watching through the group. I don't know. Still trying to figure that out here with StreamYard that we use up here above my head to do it." To do this when I'm doing it. I know Double A was doing it guerrilla style. It was great though, man. It was like an independent film. So again, great job, Double A. So glad that you're here and watching, man. Please feel free to chime in and comment on any of the stuff I'm talking about, Double A, so that we could fill in the audience. But yeah. Double A says he's using his wife's Facebook, so that's why maybe it's coming in that way. I don't know why it says a Facebook user, but man, definitely appreciate you guys being here. So guys, the original plan was a couple weeks back was for me and Double A to talk about Hawkeye. We definitely wanted to talk. I really want to talk to him about Hawkeye, and I definitely want to hear what everyone thinks about Hawkeye. But we want to wait to have that conversation together so we can chop it up with you, the Friday Nighters, the Friday Night Faithful, and each other. Then the week after that, we were going to do Cobra Kai because we're both done with both of those. But again, we weren't together, and here we are in the third week, and we don't want this stuff to get stale. But we're hoping that we'll still be able to have a great conversation, maybe kind of mix it all up. We don't want to go in depth episode by episode, but we can go through and just talk about the highlights of each show that we really liked. I just rewatched Hawkeye in preparation that we were going to be together tonight and enjoyed it just as much the second time around. Sometimes even more so because you get to watch it all together. You're not having to wait the week to week. Sorry, you guys heard the dog's bell jingling. That's Kylo. Kylo Ren, our dog. Let's see. Joe says he's watching in the group, but Joe, I do see your name, so I don't know why that is. Joe says geeks only. Yeah, that had to be a good one. I don't know if that's the name of that website, but that'd be funny if that was the name. Joe also says missed an excellent SmackDown. Oh, okay. Well, give us the highlights, Joe. What happened? Is Roman Reigns still the champ, or is it Brock now? I haven't kept up, so I would need to get filled in Jason says, I gotta say, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, they're playing tomorrow. Oh, it looks like Kylo was stripped of his pamper. So I guess he can. He's gonna try to be a good boy while he has it there. I know we're bad dog parents. Our dog shouldn't be in a pamper. He's old enough to be whatever. But Hawkeye was the shit. Opened up Kate to be a new Hawkeye. Definitely agree. That was the end of that. No, I mean, spoiler alert, guys. When we do talk about Hawkeye and Cobra Kai, we're gonna spoil them. But by the time we do talk about them, it's been out there, right? So it's plenty to say. So yeah, Jason said, "Let's go." How about them Cowboys? And then Joe is all excited. Yes, Cowboys. But I know that Jason means it. Sarcastically. Double A, obviously a Cowboys fan, very happy. He's hoping to beat the 49ers tomorrow. I haven't even looked at I had a terrible end of my fantasy season, so it was, I hadn't even had a chance to look at what the playoff picture is right now. So anybody that wants to fill me in, I know my Patriots are in, but I don't know. I just haven't been working a lot too, so that kind of sucks. It's good for the money, but it sucks to, you're at work all the time and you're thinking about your podcast and things like that. But yeah, guys, I called this one, is 2022 going to end up just being 2020 part 2? It's the sequel nobody wanted, guys. It sucks right now. I'd much rather be with my pod partner doing our podcast, our joint podcast together on podcast night, but sadly, because of circumstances, we're not able to do that. But yeah, guys, and again, I just want to remind you that we won't be at WrestleFest tomorrow, unfortunately, but WrestleFest will be going on. If you are in the Rolling Oaks Mall area or you want to go out there, you want to just see some great live wrestling, go out there, support Wrestle Shop and Auspice Shop, and go check out the live wrestling. In addition, what's going on tomorrow is Dale Ekman's Card, Comics, and Collectibles show at the Shrine Auditorium. He's going to be out there. Our friend Alfred from Collectors Cove Core is going to be out there. He's been putting up some great books. He's going to be out there. I talked to Mario Delgado recently of Authority Comics. Like I said, he gave us some great swag that we're going to have for our wrestling show. When we do it, I won't show it right now. I'll show it when I'm with Double A again, so we can kind of talk about it a little bit. But it's comic books, I'll say that, and it's wrestling related, and it's really, really, really rad. And we want to do those probably as giveaways. Maybe like if Oscar does another 6-hour show like he's going to do tomorrow, we'll be there for the 6 hours, and we'll give one away every hour on the hour. If you come and show us that you've liked, subscribed, followed, shared to all of our social media, we'll get you an entry, or maybe for each social media that we see you follow, show me your phone, and we'll hit that, give you an entry to win one of those extremely cool comic books. Let's see. Joe says, talk Peacemaker. I just caught up recently. The first 3 episodes dropped on HBO Max. In case anybody doesn't know, the show based on played by John Cena, very, very wonderfully, written and directed by James Gunn. Has anybody talked about James Gunn doing a Deadpool movie? Because I just feel like after watching Peacemaker, he would do wonderful with a Deadpool movie. So, does anybody else agree? I think we should have that conversation. Also, I want to give you guys my fantasy casting for Fantastic Four. The Silver Surfer, I would get the Skarsgård guy, the one that was in True Blood that played Eric Northman. Why does his name escape me? Is it Alexander? I think his name is Alexander Skarsgård. I think he'd be an excellent Silver Surfer. So there's that. That's that. My fantasy casting on that. Untamable Amy in the house says, brother. Facebook user, I'm sorry, I don't know. Give me your name on this comment, or maybe, guys, if you maybe just put dash your initials and I'll know. But She-Hulk in April. Somebody put that. That is very true. Joe says Eternals is now streaming as well. That's correct. Disney Plus just put Eternals out the other day, and also a movie that me and my lovely lady paid for the other night. We paid $6 on Amazon Prime, and it came out today on HBO Max. But The Last Duel. Did anybody watch The Last Duel? Nobody talked about it. I like knights and shit like that, medieval stuff. This is based on true events, it says. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Adam Driver, Kylo Ren himself. Really great movie, man. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be like an Oscar contender, I think. Great acting, great story. if you got HBO Max, I highly suggest The Last Duel. Go and check it out, man. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, Corey again. Corey, I'm so glad to see you joining, man. I know you always have some really great, strong opinions about all things Marvel and DC. And maybe you don't see when our stream comes on from the page, but you're getting to see it now through the group. So that's awesome. Yes, She-Hulk in April. Looking forward to it, most certainly. Corey, what were your thoughts on Eternals? I hadn't seen you post or say too much about it, but I'd like to hear what you thought about it. I see different things. And Untamed Blaney says missing Double A, but here in spirit he is, and he might be watching still on his lady's phone. But yeah, so I saw the Peacemaker again. If you watch the movie The Suicide Squad, the new one, the James Gunn one with Idris Elba as a Bloodsport, it was a super fun movie. It was a great watch. You know, Starro. I enjoyed it highly. I was like, man, you could just watch it over and over again. It was just like so much fun. I even appeared on the Now Watch This podcast and was recorded, however, was never released. The unreleased episode of Now Watch This, the Suicide Squad review that was not meant to be. But yeah, in that movie, you know, John Cena plays a peacemaker, and again, it's an extreme and over the top character, and that movie is extreme and over the top. It very much in the vein of a Deadpool, and now HBO Max gave him his own series, and 3 episodes dropped. It's going to probably be 1 episode per week, though. I imagine like they did Titans, maybe like on Wednesdays, and it's so far a lot of fun. I dig it. You know, he's got an eagle as a sidekick, and I mean, what can you ask for? So it's cool, and you know, I won't give any spoilers or anything like that, and I won't go in depth on Peacemaker because I don't know if Double A has seen it, and we may end up hashing it up. We usually do the comic book shows together, so we definitely will. Let me see here. We got that's a good comment. I definitely want to read that one. Jason says, "Are you going to see the new Scream movie?" Yeah, I definitely want to, man. The last theater experience I had was Spider-Man No Way Home, and it was a packed theater. So any potential exposure anybody may have experienced may have been in one of those. For all we know, No Way Home may have been the super spreader event of the year, because it's the only movie apparently making any money at the box office. You know, and killing it and crushing it. I've only seen it one time in theater, unfortunately, because of the conditions that are going on right now. But I would very, very much like to go see it in IMAX or D-Box before it leaves theaters. But I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, and I don't think anyone's going to send it away because theaters are probably like, this movie is single-handedly keeping us afloat. But my prediction was right that I posted, which was that movie would bring people back to the theaters, and it would be the movie where people cheered again, not since Endgame have we cheered that way, and it was amazing, and I cannot wait to do it again. Let me get some more comments here. Double A, I think that's you, says still watching. I appreciate it, brother. That means you are not only here in spirit, but are here for real. But yeah, Jason, regarding Scream, I do want to go see it, and I do want to go see it in theater since it's not going to be available to stream at home. Otherwise, I probably would choose to stream that one at home. But I'm a Scream fan. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the old cast is back, so I would love to go and check it out. Watch that in theaters. I've the little bit that I've seen people talk about it, I've heard good things. You know what I mean? So some better than some of the later sequels, but not as good as the original. That's kind of like what, you know, me and Double A had kind of said about The Matrix, the new one that came out. Although, you know, me and my girlfriend and my sister enjoyed it thoroughly. We were like, oh, this is a fine movie. I mean, like, I don't know what people are hating on it about. And if it didn't do well, it's because it came out a week after Spider-Man, which it's like, that needed a big cooling off period. And if you put that Matrix movie out in theaters only around a time when nothing else is coming out, I think it does do well. Because, number one, the curiosity factor, but also, too, it's not a terrible movie or whatever. Is it the best Matrix? No. Nothing will beat that first one. But, you know, it's okay to watch. We had a good time watching it, you know, so. Joe, do I like the intro regarding Peacemaker? I love it. That was a great, great intro. If you don't want to watch the Peacemaker, or maybe you're just a John Cena fan, I would suggest you just go watch the intro then, or it's probably on YouTube by now. But yeah, it's an outstanding intro, very fun, very well done. James Gunn, man, I'm telling you, I want someone to agree with me here. Would he not make a great Deadpool movie? I think that he would. I think he'd make a really, really great Deadpool movie. And also, I want to do another fantasy casting while I'm on here. If you watched the Daredevil show or you watched True Blood, Deborah Ann Wall, in Daredevil, she played Karen Page. She was fantastic. And in True Blood, I forget the name of the character that she played, but she was one of my favorite vampires in that show. You know, when I see people talking about could Kirsten Dunst come back and bring Kirsten Dunst back with Toby or give Andrew Garfield a Mary Jane, man, I know that she's already in the the Marvel universe with Daredevil and she's Karen Page. Um, a little bit wasted there, I think. And I know they've brought back some people from the Daredevil universe, but I don't feel like we're going to get everybody back. But we might just get a few people. I think that's kind of how they're going to approach that. They're going to just bring the really like maybe key players. Obviously, spoilers. We got Kingpin, and obviously, spoilers. We got uh, um, Matt Murdock. We have not seen Daredevil yet, but did get Matt Murdock, and we did get Wilson Fisk. But Deborah Ann Wall would be a fantastic Mary Jane Watson. She has the look. Her eyes are blue, not green. But I mean, like, man, her. I don't know why I'm thinking about True Blood, but I'm grabbing some True Blood people to be, um, Alexander Skarsgård as I believe his name is Alexander. Somebody help me if I'm wrong with that. Would be a great Silver Surfer. He could do the voice, and he could do the mocap big time. And that's no disrespect to Doug Jones, who is fantastic in the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. But Deborah Ann Wall, man, she has a Mary Jane look. That is the Mary Jane I wanted to see with Toby, not Kirsten Dunst. And if Andrew Garfield was gonna get a Mary Jane, she'd be a fantastic Mary Jane. Let's see. Facebook user says, trying to think what else we need to say. That is double A, I can tell. Joe says, you got to pay to hear that that now watches episode. Oh, okay. It's gone to the premium site, the Patreon, I guess. Yeah, let me know, Joe, or I can send my dollar. I want to hear that episode if it was as bad. Boba Fett is going strong. Book of Boba Fett. Absolutely. That is definitely all things Star Wars. Me and double A do chop up. So we will definitely get into Book of Boba Fett. We usually wait till it's done. We don't want to do any spoilers, but yes, it's been great. I'm pretty sure that me and Double A are watching week by week. Peacemaker, great. I think that's you, Double A. Let's just see here. I see one that says it was good for a new intro for future heroes, but if you didn't know it yet, but that was Blade's voice in the end credit scene. That's Corey talking about Eternals. Yes, spoiler alerts for Eternals. Dang, it just came out on Disney Plus. People probably waited to watch that one, and here I am spoiling it. But strike that comment from your record. You'll have to listen through to get. Then he's talking about the end credit scene. I think it's the mid credit scene, and then there's an end credit scene. Me and my girlfriend watched it in theaters. I didn't know it was going to come to Disney Plus so fast. And I heard that they're trying to give it an Oscar push. Eternals, save your Oscar push, Marvel, and push No Way Home if you're going to push something for an Oscar. I mean, superhero movies don't traditionally win those awards, but I mean, if you're going to push something, I was like, Eternals? I don't know. It was fine, but I feel like I would have liked it if it wasn't a Marvel movie either. It could have not been a Marvel movie, and it felt like that. It was a big, huge cast, so many characters. It didn't need to be. It could have not been a Marvel movie, and I probably still would have watched it and still dug it, But knowing what I know now, I probably would have waited to watch that one at home, which I said the opposite of Black Widow, which is that I would have wanted to have seen Black Widow in theaters. I regretted watching it at home because I think it took something away from it for me. And I kind of felt that way about The Matrix, too. I watched The Matrix at home, and I feel like, after seeing No Way Home in the theater, again, like a movie like that, a big movie with people, and in that, 2.5 hours, it felt normal. That was awesome. So I could imagine seeing some big moments that maybe happened in Black Widow or The Matrix, the new one, in a theater with a crowd that was engaged and interested. Again, these had to be around the time when nothing else was around it, because, remember when Sonic did really well in the theater, Sonic the Hedgehog, but there was nothing else out, but it did really well. That's why, people were still going to theaters at that time, and it was the only thing out, and it was fun. It's a great movie, and I'm not saying it's not taking anything away from it, but if you put it up against something really big, it's not going to do as well, but it was good. Joe says Matrix, question mark, because Joe has not seen The Matrixes. And Double A, I know that's you saying you didn't like The Matrix. I know we haven't had a chance to I really want to talk to you about why you didn't like it, but I know you didn't. Joe says James Gunn would make a great Spider-Man movie. I feel like he would do the 6-arm Spider-Man if he did that. So I don't know, or Man Spider. I don't know if I want James Gunn doing my Spider-Man movie, but I'm telling you, I think he'd be great at Deadpool. would make a great director. I think that's Double A regarding Deadpool. HBO Max released the Matrix with the theater killed its box office. Absolutely, I definitely agree when it comes to a movie like The Matrix like that. It was what killed it that it came out at home. So that one, if they were to argue over their contracts the way Scarlett Johansson did, it would be a fair and valid argument, I think. Dexter was great, CM. That's right. I know it finished. I think that's got to be UAA. I have not seen Dexter. My sister Amelia is a fan, and she's encouraged me to watch it. I do want to watch it. It's one of those shows on my list of things to pick up. I literally have a list of shows on my list of shows. Everyone here: Yellow Jackets, Yellowstone, lots of things that are yellow. This is a movie, I believe, but Riders of Justice. I hear it's foreign, but it's got Mads Mikkelsen, who I adore, and will watch anything in him in. Again, this one got creamed, guys, but I'm hearing great things. Nightmare Alley. Our boy, somebody help me with his name, but Nightmare Alley. When I saw the preview, I was like, damn, he looked like a good Indiana Jones. Bradley Cooper. But I've heard that it's really awesome. People have said season 2 right now is out, I think, of Zendaya in Euphoria. And people have been telling me, Kara, who was here earlier, said, watch Euphoria. And then another show out, which may be kind of like I said about Eternals. If it wasn't a Marvel movie, I still would have probably been interested, but maybe it shouldn't have been a Marvel movie. It would have been just as good, but of course it's Marvel characters. But someone has been saying, I've been hearing things about, this might have been, I heard it on Kevin Smith's podcast, but Station 11, which apparently is about a person that uses comic books to keep themselves alive or survive in a world where a virus pandemic has created a dystopian type world. So that might be hitting kind of close to home, but sounds interesting to me. So Station 11, that's one I want to check out. I think Station 11 is on Netflix, and I'm not sure where Riders of Justice is at. Nightmare Alley, I think, is only in theaters. You can't stream yet. Euphoria, HBO Max. And I believe Yellowstone and Yellow Jackets, I think, are both on Peacock. Somebody help me. But yeah, Dexter, man, I would definitely check it out. Did the new end make up for the old end? I heard the old end got a lot of criticism. Even my sister said, she's like, man, I hated that ending, and I think she was excited for the new one. Joe says, now we need Emma back as Spider-Gwen. That'd be rad. I'm into seeing that. That'd be cool. Emma Stone was great. My favorite love interest, that might be Double A. We've had that conversation. I agree with that. That's my favorite love story so far of all the Spider-Mans. Theirs. Someone says going to watch Eternals right now. Maybe that was Corey. Was it Corey? And someone else says Eternals was a really good movie. I'm not sure. Those comments are coming in without the name, but that's great. Sony pushing No Way Home, absolutely, as they should. Someone says here, love the Celestials. Finally got to see them introduced. That might be UAA. And then the Kurgan was the main villain of this last season of Dexter. CM. Oh, so that's definitely Double A telling me that. And who played the Kurgan was his name's escaping me, but he was also Lex Luthor in the animated series. Clancy Brown. Great actor, great voice actor, and a lot of great face. Obviously, also Byron Hadley from The Shawshank Redemption, one of my all-time favorite movies. Okay, Corey here says, you have to remember that Marvel is starting over with backstories. Big battle with Thanos ended original OG Avengers, right? Now we have to start over again for the Young Avengers, Dark Avengers, Mutants, and Secret Wars. Absolutely, man, absolutely. And I get you. I know that you're big on talking about how Marvel does the story building and all that. So maybe the Eternals is just kind of meant to build into other stuff. Obviously, I'm aware of the Black Knight, but I was never like the biggest proponent for the Black Knight. But hey, Marvel has turned water into wine before. I was never a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, and now here I am. I own, also Mixtape Volume 1 on cassette. So it did improve the Dexter ending. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Man, it's so sad, right, that we couldn't get maybe that closure for Sopranos. And I'm going to bring something up, some questions I had kind of written for the end. Actually, I ripped them off from Kevin Smith's podcast, but I thought they were interesting to talk about the Friday Night Faithful, but it's in the vein of if you could redo it. And it looks like Dexter went back and was like, man, people weren't satisfied with this ending. The guy is still young. I don't know why they were stopping anyway. And then here they came back and apparently did a better job. So that's great. Um, Someone says yes. I think for Yellowstone, but I haven't watched. That might be UAA that is on Peacock. I just keep hearing so many good things. If I've seen they have T-shirts like at Walmart already, so I'm like, okay, it must be popular. Like I want to check it out. Corey, thank you, Corey, for putting your name in the front. I appreciate that on the comments. Heard that we got MODOK coming in next. Ant-Man Wasp movie, Gore the God Butcher, and Thor: Love and Thunder. Yes, I've heard that as well. Corey, did you watch MODOK on Hulu with Patton Oswalt as the voice of MODOK? Lots of AIM soldiers. There's really a fun take. I thought it was funny. I like when they do animated stuff like that. Not serious. It's not serious. It's not like what if I don't, and I'm guessing it's not canon because they're saying they're going to get someone else to voice MODOK, and obviously Patton Oswalt did other voice duties as Pip in Eternals, but man, what the heck? Let him be MODOK too. He was a pretty funny MODOK, and he would kind of keep that canon. And I loved Hitmonkey. Did you watch Hitmonkey also on Hulu? Very, very fun. Again, maybe James Gunn would do a good live action Hitmonkey movie. I would pay to see that for sure. Corey says, no, I saw Eternals as soon as it dropped on Disney Plus. Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. And then maybe this is Double A says, okay, if people go on your live, you can't see our names. But if on the Just Another Friday Night Live, you can see our names. Okay, I didn't want to have both open because then you'll be hearing me, but that's good to know. But see, I don't know where people are joining the live from. I don't know. Well, it says Facebook user, but it's weird. I don't know. I like how Corey's doing it here. Type your name and then type your comment. That helps me out a little bit. But great comments, guys. It's great to see that you guys are here joining in. I saw we got a little crowd last week during the Dragon Ball episode for those people. And we had a lot of great comments. Double A, I know that the situation you were in, you couldn't view them both while you were streaming. I know how it looks sometimes when you're not using this format that we use. If you're just streaming directly from Facebook Live, it's like you turn your thing sideways and then like the comments just vanish, so you're just seeing yourself, so that's a real bummer. You kind of got to keep tapping the screen to see the comments, whatever. So this format that we use is much easier where you can see them on the side there. So now I see Christina's name and it says, but it's you, Double A, and it says they are Facebook users, CM. Okay. It makes me wonder, are they in our group? I'm only casting to 3 places right now on our Facebook page, on our group, and then on our YouTube. So, and I've seen before, you've seen it with me, Double A, when they're using YouTube, it says YouTube user. So that's just weird. Corey says, gonna get hate, but this Spider-Man didn't impress me. Felt DC-ish, too emo with Andrew Garfield. Whoa, bold. But you know what? You're not the first one I've heard have some complaints about it. You know what I mean? So nothing is perfect. Nothing pleases everybody. Again, I thought it was Marvel working their magic. Me and Double A absolutely loved it. I have nothing negative to say about it. Again, I cannot wait to see it again. Not everyone, again, like I said, not everyone's cup of tea. I heard some people complain that, well, where were the Toby villains? You know what I mean? It was all the older villains. And I did hear that they had another direction planned if they couldn't get Toby and Andrew Garfield back. But hey, I think it turned out okay. I think even Joe from Now Watch This, Joe, you're here. He says, I'm back on the Just Another Friday Night Live. Okay. Where were you before? Were you looking at it through the group? That's weird. I don't know. But Joe says that, and he says he had said that in one of his shows that he kind of felt like he was waiting for, he knew so much that he was waiting for them to come out, and it kind of was like your anticipation was keeping you. And I've been there before where I'm just so eager for the next part of the story that I'm not really like enjoying it, so to speak. It's happened to me in Star Wars movies where I know there's going to be a big lightsaber duel at the end, so I'm just like, come on, let's get to that or whatever in my mind. So then I have to go watch a repeat viewings to truly enjoy it. So yeah, Joe said back on Just Another Friday Night Live. Good, Joe, appreciate you being here. Corey says, but how are they going to intro Venom to Spidey? Great question, man. But if anybody can do it, it's them. I mean, do you keep, the Tom Hardy Venom in the Garfield universe, when Morbius is going to come out, things like that? You keep those guys all together, and do you give us they leave some symbiote behind, right? In No Way Home, do you bring in a new guy to be Venom here? You know what I mean? If you want Eddie Brock to look like comic book Eddie Brock, cast John Cena, because he's looking freaking huge in Peacemaker. I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? That's like the Jack John Cena right there. Yeah, but great question, man. I'm not really sure how they do it, but those guys are magicians. They can do whatever. Joe says, I was the one who told you about the names. Oh, okay. So that was weird. So tell me how you were doing that, Joe, because whatever you were doing then, I couldn't see your name when you were doing it. So, but that's weird. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't broadcast to the group anymore. But I like that Corey joined. Corey, go like our Facebook page if you haven't. Then you'll get our notifications when we go live, and you can join the conversations again. Man, we like that. Joe says, No Way Home was better the second time. Some things are like that, right? I like sometimes when leftovers sit in the fridge overnight because they suck up all the juice and the marinades, and then you're like, damn, when I reheated this, it was even better than when I cooked it the first time around. Corey says, yeah, they had some other endings intended, even having Venom fight in, but they felt it would have been too much at once. Yeah, it was definitely a lot to take in, for sure. And I totally grasped Joe's feeling of, like, kind of the anticipation. So you're trying to enjoy it, but your mouth is, like, literally wet with, like, fuck, what's going to happen next? You know? So that's tough. Joe says, I went on your live. Okay, so I guess the live on the on the on the Facebook group. I don't know. It's weird. It just shows me three things on broadcast. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it this way next time. I'm just gonna do YouTube and then the Facebook page because I don't want to lose the new people that come in. I don't know. We'll fucking figure it out, right, guys? I don't know. Type your name in. I like that. It says Joe says they're gonna use the Ted Lasso guy. Man, Danny Rojas. Football is life. If you guys haven't watched Ted Lasso, highly suggest going to watch it. I bootlegged it. Don't tell anybody. But I would definitely pay for Apple Plus. I think it's $5 a month to watch Ted Lasso season 3 come out because that's a fucking fantastic show. Corey says, no, they did intro the no, they did enter the symbiote in credit scene. Yes, right. When Eddie was in the bar and the piece of Venom stayed behind. Yes, correct. That's kind of what Joe was referencing. He was saying that the guy that was the bartender was going to get the symbiote supposedly and be the Tom Holland universe's Venom, which would be kind of cool because that guy's a Latino. I was like, Latino Venom? That's got to be new, right? They haven't done that. Great stuff, guys. Great comments. I know we're kind of having a roundabout conversation here, not getting into too much specifics, which I like, again, because sometimes me and Double A like to do a big deep dive on these certain shows and go really, really deep into them. But what else, guys, in the world of pop culture, music, movies, streaming, sports, anything like that? Let me toss these questions out to you since I was thinking about them today. Well, I wasn't. I was listening to them on another show, and then I stole their idea because I wasn't sure I was gonna have enough to talk to you about with you guys, but I do. So, and again, I want to give credit where credit's due. So, Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man Beyond, but they were asked in their audience, their live audience, asked them, Kevin, Mark, what dead character would you bring back to wreak havoc? And their reference was kind of the way that they're doing with the Boba Fett show now. You know, a long time ago, we knew Boba Fett fell in the Sarlacc pit or got knocked in the Sarlacc pit by Han Solo. Again, credit where credit's due. And now they, bring him back in a big way, and he got his own show, and obviously the Mandalorian episode where he kicked major ass. That's where I became a fan because I was never a Boba Fett fan till then. But yeah, you Friday Nighters, you out there in the audience, is there a character dead or gone that you guys would want to see brought back and resurrected in a way that they would do maybe a Boba Fett style show, so we kind of get all that backstory? I have my answer, and I'm going to open it up. Not just Star Wars, not Marvel, not anyone, but just a character that's gone. But you're like, man, you know what? They could get a Boba Fett style show that they've been eliminated or wrote off, but now we can bring them back. And let's see, I'll read some comments while y'all think about that question. Again, what dead character would you bring back to life to wreak havoc? A la Boba Fett. I'm going to tell y'all mine. Mine's a pretty good one, I think. Corey says, no, oh, no, I read that one already. Corey says, I feel that symbiote will fuse into the bartender, but only as a vessel to get to Spidey. Okay, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, Double A, I like that answer. Double A says, Gus from Breaking Bad. Man, the backstory. Get Giancarlo Esposito, dye the hair back? Or how would you have it, Double A? He didn't die when he got like the Two-Face treatment, you know what I mean? Spoilers for Breaking Bad if you haven't seen it, but Giancarlo Esposito's character does not live. I don't know how we would do that one, but I'm interested. I love him as pretty much anybody, but he's especially good as Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. I would be there for that story. Don't know, but best character on that show. Um, I do love Heisenberg personally, but yeah, I love Gus, man. Great badass character. Um, Dark and scary and stark, and made him even better as Moff Gideon um, in the Mandalorian. So great answer on that one, Double A. Anyone else out there in the Friday Night Land? I see I've got 5 watching. I'm excited. Um, Han Solo. You'd bring him back, or you'd redo, or Mace Windu. There was a rumor that he has a Disney Plus show coming. I like that. I like that. You mean from Force Awakens? Han Solo somehow survived. I like that. I like that too. I mean, people get cut in half in Star Wars and still live. So Han gets stabbed and dies. I don't buy it either. I definitely think he could be alive. I would like that. Mace is a good one. Oh, it's all right, Corey. Yeah, that's a great answer. I think I would love that too. Again, Mace didn't get it that bad. It was like, after Darth Maul gets split in half and he comes back, I'm like, come on, give us some Mace Windu. And Samuel L. Jackson has said several times he would be very much like to be Mace Windu again. I'll give you guys mine. It's out of the blue, right? And I've kind of already written this movie in my mind, but I would bring back Randy the Ram. Everyone says that he died at the end of The Wrestler. I call bullshit. I think that he had like a major heart attack in the ring, but they got revived. Then he hooks up with Jake the Snake Roberts and Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, and they all go down to DDP's place in Florida. They start doing DDP yoga, and Randy the Ram gets a resurgence, gets on to either the main event at like a Legends WrestleMania or something like that, but it ends with him going into the Hall of Fame, meeting a good woman, reconciling with his daughter. The end. Randy the Ram gets a second chance. That's the character I'd bring back from The Wrestler. Mickey Rourke, a movie that should have won Best Picture. Double A says, one more, Vincent Vega. I love that. I don't know how Vincent survived getting shot up like that, but hey, maybe he was wearing a vest, right? You could do that. He was wearing a vest, and he just acted knocked out, and then you bring him back. I could see it. I definitely like that. Hey, they gave DeJesus a movie from The Big Lebowski, right? Has anybody seen that one? I haven't seen it, but I'm curious about it because I know it exists. I'm like, and it's him, John Turturro. I think he maybe even wrote and directed. But that's pretty wild. And who else is a character like that you're like, oh man? Well, I think I just saw it during the holidays. There's a Christmas movie too. I didn't know about that. And I think they even said that they gave like the Randy Quaid character from Christmas Vacation his own movie as well. Like, I'm like, I didn't know those existed, that there's like those characters got movies. So the Jesus Rolls Double A says, okay, yeah, let's look that up. Somebody tell me where that's streaming. I want to find out. Joe says Quicksilver, have it lead into Magneto. So you want to bring back the Quicksilver from the Marvel universe that we know, the guy that played Kick-Ass? I forget that kid's name. Something Taylor Johnson? Aaron Taylor? I want to say Aaron Taylor Thomas, but that's Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but I don't know. But while we're thinking about those old shows, rest in peace to Bob Saget. Rest in peace to Betty White. I don't know if we had an opportunity to say that on either of our last 2 shows. As I know Double A was getting straight to business, but man, 2 icons gone. And I'll drink to both of them, Bob Saget and Betty White. May you both rest in peace. Love you both. Double A says Ralph Boner. Yeah, I love Evan Peters, and I wanted him to become like this world's Quicksilver, which now, with all that we know now, that the multiverse kind of like was breaking, like, was there something there with the WandaVision stuff? I mean, I know we just say that they just say he was some actor or whatever, but couldn't you, like, I mean, there's a way you could write that or whatever, and you get Evan Peters back as Quicksilver. He had the powers, you know what I mean? Like, was all of that? I mean, it was Agatha all along, as she said, but was it really? I don't know. Corey says, all right, brother, I got to peace out. Work at 12-hour shifts. Glad to join in. Glad to have you, Corey. I work tomorrow too, actually. And believe me, our shows are normally much earlier. So we hope that you'll join us again, man. Please like the Facebook page. That's right. And you'll get the notifications, or subscribe to us on YouTube and you'll get the notifications for the live there. And then you can talk with us some more, man. It's great opinions. I love your strong opinions on all things Marvel. And I want to hear your things on all things DC. Joe says, appreciate it, Corey. Have a good night, man. Good day at work. Joe says, yeah, but I heard the dude is going to play Craven. Yeah, I heard that too. Like, what's going on with that? I feel like that's an early. I think he looks too young to play Craven, and Craven should look a little bit older and more hardened. And Double A said something really great to me where he says, if you're going to do the Craven story, you should do it with the married Toby Peter Parker. Because that's kind of how that story takes place in when you get Craven's Last Hunt. And shit, man, I don't know how you could try to do that movie in 3 acts, but you probably need to really do it in either 2 movies or a movie and a show, maybe even, it could be a show. Because it's a story that needs a little bit of, to be fleshed out properly. You wouldn't want to shortchange, I think, that great story. Aaron Taylor Thomas. That's not his name. I think it's Aaron Taylor Johnson or something. Now I gotta look it up. See, now you guys got me. Gonna have to look it up. Who plays him? But he was kick-ass. Joe says apparently he's been cast Double A to be Craven, but I don't know if that's official. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Why does he have 2 last names? Is that his maiden name? Yeah. They showed the outline of the sky. Yes, they showed the character with the spear. It outlined was supposed to be Craven, but I don't think that it was. So, are they going to do that in the Tom Holland universe, or would they do that in the Andrew Garfield universe? That's tough. The way Andrew Garfield looked. I feel like maybe he's getting up there. You could do the story of Craven's Last Hunt with that one, but maybe be best with, I guess you got to pick who wants to do it, who wants to come back and do maybe a couple more Spider-Man movies or whatever. I don't know if Toby feels like maybe he's getting too old and stuff, but yeah, so that was apparently the word on the street. Double A for you there. Joe says that should be Tom's last Spider-Man movie. Craven's Last Hunt. Yeah, but I think he's already signed on for 3, right? So he's signed on. And the dog is barking. Let me see if I can let him out here real quick. I think Jessica's gonna let him out there. So yeah, I don't know if I would do that for Tom Holland at the end. He looks so young, and it's like an older Spider-Man in that story. He's already, I think, married to Mary Jane, and I don't know if he's still working at the Bugle. Double A, you'd have to help me out with that, but he's definitely. I feel like it's an older Spider-Man story, but yeah, I guess as long as we get Craven, it's good, you know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter. Again, with the leaving of the symbiote behind, it kind of feels like they want to do Venom maybe right within the Marvel universe. We just had the Venom movies, and I know they weren't loved, and then we had the bad Venom with Topher. So maybe I feel like Marvel sometimes is we're gonna correct the mistakes of the past, So let's see here. Joe says, I was thinking Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah, because I said that too. I fucked it up and was like, isn't it Aaron Taylor Thomas? Yeah, that's when I went into my whole Bob Saget, Betty White memorial there. Double A says, yeah, still at the Bugle, definitely married. Okay, so yeah. I don't know that I can see that Tom Holland Spider-Man married, you know what I mean? He just looks too young. So I feel like, I feel like we can get a lot more youthful Spider-Man movies out of him. I say you do the next 3 with him if he signed off for 3. Spectacular Spider-Man. There's still characters out there. Like I said, they could redo, they could bring back Venom and the symbiote. They talked about Ned being, Hobgoblin. Ned Leeds was Hobgoblin. One of the Hobgoblins in the story. So that could potentially be something that happens as well. Joe saying that's what he's saying. His last Spider-Man movie, yeah. The story's so fat though. You feel like it would fit in one movie. I don't know. I know you don't want to do 3 movies with one villain because it's the trend is you switch every time, right? You switch villains every movie. But But what about giving Tom Holland a Goblin? I mean, like I think that there's space for that too. He deserves his own Green Goblin. So that's what I mean. Hobgoblin. You get Ned there. You know what I mean? That villain turn. Uh, yeah, CAA says no, not Tom Holland. He wouldn't do it with that version. Joe also says, I heard Craven is going to be the villain solo like Morbius. That's interesting. It's interesting to approach it from that angle. I mean, I see they're doing that more with like the villain. The villain gets his solo film or whatever. But see, I think kind of what maybe people didn't like, the people that did not like Venom, is that it's like you put Venom against like this red symbiote because it's you make Venom the hero, anti-hero. His villain is the another red symbiote. Okay, then in Let There Be Carnage is like you bring Carnage, another red symbiote. It's like, okay, part of what made Venom so interesting and dynamic in his time was his relationship with Spider-Man. You strip that out of the story, that's why it wasn't as good. And I know those movies made a shit ton of money and they did well, and obviously what I mean. But how much better would it have been? You cast Tom Hardy and you have Eddie Brock introduced in like the first movie, and then he comes out again in the second movie, and then by the third movie, we have Venom now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now we're going somewhere. So you do a Craven movie, you build a movie around Craven. I don't know how that goes. It's unless it's just the introduction of him as this hunter and all that or whatever. But you've got to have somewhere where they cross paths or he encounters it to. You've got to bait that hook so that way you bring this audience in. Like, okay, why am I interested in this guy, this hunter or whatever that he's after, big game or whatever? You know what I mean? Is this the old Michael Douglas movie about the lion that was loose in the village one time? Somebody help me with that one. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if a solo Craven movie is the way to go. Double A, if you're still out there, what do you think, bud? Oh, and he says right there, no, not for Craven. Uh, Joe also says, yeah, I'm saying if it's Tom Holland, it can't be the next one. He needs some time. Yeah, I don't just see that guy aging up and looking really rugged. Tom Holland to me is like an Elijah Wood or like a Daniel Radcliffe that's never going to age up enough to look like an elder, statesman of film. You know what I mean? Like, Toby had that look already, and I would even say Andy Garfield had that look too. From what we saw in No Way Home, that they could be an older Peter Parker. Uh, Double A says Eddie needs to be a supervillain, not lethal protector for his intro of a new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, agree. I definitely think so. Jason's heading out for the night. Jason says good night, bro. Good night, Jason. Have a great weekend, brother, and thank you for keeping up with me and reminding me to bring the beer. And that we'll see you hopefully next Friday. Me and Double A, same. Just another Friday night time, same just another Friday night channel. Hopefully in the pod lab doing our thing. As we are so used to and fond of doing and are missing right now for the third week in a row. Joe says, so Tom is the next Frodo. I mean, I know that he's had some serious roles, and I haven't seen Cherry, and I haven't seen the one that Lucky often tells you to watch, Joe, that's on Netflix. Damn, I can't remember the name of it either. And I started to watch it, but I didn't get to finish. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like because he looks so youthful, and we can get some more youthful Spider-Man stories out of him, like you could keep Tom Holland the way he looks in, like, we could do like, the. Is he even a senior? Like, well, where's he? Well, he got his GED right by the end of No Way Home, so I guess we're going into the college years, right? I mean, like, I don't know. They just changed that so much. I think they're taking this Spider-Man to the Secret Wars and all that. So there's going to be that aspect. Jack is joining us. Gentleman Jack from Toy Dojo, who graciously helped us guest host Double A last week, talking all things Dragon Ball. So what's up, Jack? Joining from the YouTube. Really cool, man. I appreciate you being here, and I can see your name and everything. We were having some issues earlier, Jack, with some of the Facebook users, as they were called. So glad to have you here, bud. And again, thank you so much for all your help last week. Double A and you did a great job talking all things Dragon Ball. Again, a subject I am not so well versed in. I do diverge with you guys in the woods on the Superman thing, but hey, we'll leave that conversation for another time. Jack says it was awesome. He says, yeah, I'm all on board. Yeah, man. we definitely appreciate the help and everything you did for the show there coming out. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, you weren't here yet, Jack, but it was unfortunate that you guys missed out on some really great comments from some people that were really into Dragon Ball. But I know, like I said, the way you guys were having to work it, it wasn't able to be done. But fortunately, I have the ability to do that. Joe, Jack says Superman loses to Goku. Matter of fact, totally disagree. What makes Superman so great is his indomitable will and his inability to be destroyed in any way. He says DBZ greater than DC. It definitely has more letters. I'll say that. Jack, what are your football predictions for tomorrow? Love to hear some of that as the commissioner of our Pick'ems League. And I believe the last champ of this season. Man, what a rough year all around for me for fantasy football and Pick'ems football. So Joe says, I know nada about DBZ. Well, I just say don't bet against Superman. That's probably one of the best ways to go about it there. What do we got coming up, guys? The Batman, right? That's coming up. Looks great. More trailers are coming. Something that was being said on your podcast, Joe, from Lucky, your pod partner, the Dork Dad himself, was that, man, it feels like we're getting a little too much in the trailers now. There was very, very little, and it kind of really left us like, our beaks wet, right? Like, damn, man, I can't wait to see this Robert Pattinson Batman. But now they're giving us a little bit more. Now we've got a really great look at the Riddler, which does look scary. We got a really great look at the Penguin already, which, Colin Farrell, damn, he's really, really dressed it up. I can't even tell it's him. It makes me wonder, why cast this handsome guy as Penguin and then make him look ugly? Well, I guess because he's a great actor. But when you could have just cast, like, Danny DeVito. But yeah. Jack says Bengals and Bills tomorrow. Bucks and 49ers, baby. Gotta go with Tom Brady on that one, man. Don't bet against Tom. Bengals and Bills. Bills are rolling, man. So that would be my pick for those two games. Bills and Bucks for me. Double A says, did you enjoy? Well, I can see that you're coming in on Chris's profile, Double A, so I know it's you. He says, did I enjoy the Batman Beyond episodes? I did. So I'll tell you guys a little bit of background about this. Double A suggested that I'd mentioned I'd never really seen Batman Beyond, and I always thought the character did look cool, with the full mask. He gave me some episodes to watch, and they were really cool, and he told me to watch the movie Return of the Joker. So I wanted to talk to you about this, Double A, because I did get into them. The episodes were cool, and the Terry McGinnis character reminded me a lot of Dick Grayson. I was like, oh, okay, this could have easily been a Nightwing story, is what they could have done with that. But I guess people want the Batman name, right? So you've got, Batman's Batman. So you want to call him Batman or whatever. And I was all for him because he reminded me so much of Dick Grayson until I got to the movie. So in the movie, he makes a couple of like offhanded comments that I did not like. Like at one point, he's like, I'm not a Robin. And I'm like, you kind of are. You know what I mean? Because Bruce is still the tech and the one that's showing you the way. It's like, you're not Batman without him, which is they're not Robin without him. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, this is why I like Nightwing so much, is because I feel like he elevated himself to the level of Batman and then actually went Batman Beyond because he's better at it than him, but he's Nightwing. But I felt as though he used it as a slur that he wasn't a Robin. I didn't like that about that when the Terry McGinnis character said that. And then he gets kind of cocky and like a little bit bitchy in the Joker movie, where he's like, oh, he gets in a pissing contest with Bruce, and he's like, oh, well, fuck it, I won't be Batman no more. Then here's your suit, and it's like, okay, that's very superhero like, you know what I mean? So I didn't like that aspect of it, and I also didn't like that there wasn't respect to the Robins, which he kind of redeems himself by the end of that movie, the Joker movie. But otherwise, yeah, big time. He reminds me of Nightwing, and and I would have much rather seen maybe a Robin Beyond show, or just call it Nightwing, and I think it could have been the same thing. I feel as though that story is almost built on the back of the ideal of the Nightwing character, but there's not the name recognition and the suit recognition of a bat and bat ears and calling him Batman. But otherwise, I did like it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Corey's back. Oh no, Corey! I can see you must have liked the page because I can see your name now. So maybe it's people that are on the Facebook group but don't yet like the page. I think I'm making the connection on how you don't see the name. So that's neat. Um, and he says, Corey, all right, brother, just got back to tell you, now sub to your YouTube channel and following your TikTok. Catch you later. Cool, catch you later, Corey. Yeah, and I can see your name now. Great, and your picture there, so that's cool. Before it was coming in kind of like a generic, it said Facebook user. So I dig it. I dig it. Let's see. What else? Jack says, of course you're picking the Bills. You're a Bills fan at heart. Way back in the day, this is not uncommon knowledge, but yes, that was my first football team, the Buffalo Bills. The Jim Kelly, the second greatest quarterback of all time, next to Tom Brady. I stand by that. Number 3, Joe Montana. Double A says, interesting on my thoughts on that. Yeah, I took that away from the movie. I needed more time with Terry to see that. And again, there was even a level, I thought, of disrespect on the Tim Drake character, who I didn't know was voiced by the guy that was the Quantum Leap, the other guy, and he passed away. Dean something or other. But yeah, sad. And I hear Quantum Leap's getting a reboot too, if you're a Quantum Leap fan. But what about the Tim parts though, CM? Those were great. I thought that was cool. And that was a really, you were absolutely right, a really fucked up Joker move, right? I was like, damn, man, this guy got one more in the bag. Like, look at him right here. And he had Bruce scared and he had him fucked up. And I was like, dude, Joker's getting things done, man. And, and I liked it too that he put himself in like a body that could fight. And so it was like, that's like always been like the Joker's missing aspect, right? Is that like he doesn't kick ass, you know what I mean? Like he's maniacal and crazy and unpredictable and does all this shit, but he's not really like good in a head-to-head fight. But in this scenario, he manifested a situation where he was very good and put himself in one of the best potential situations to fight with someone that was trained by Batman. So I really did dig that, man. And yeah, the Tim Drake character, an interesting future for those DC characters. I don't know that I like it. And I also don't know that I agree with you, Double A, that I don't know if I like the idea of Terry being a Bruce clone, because again, it adds one more layer. Dean Stockwell, yes, rest in peace, Dean Stockwell. Thank you for that, Double A. Again, it puts it. You're totally right, Double A, when you said that Terry shouldn't be a Bruce Wayne clone, as they reveal in that episode of Justice League Unlimited. Thank you, Joe, for that. Because it just shows one more layer of arrogance of Batman, where it's like, even though you trained these kids that are supposed to be like your kids, you raise them like your own, you put them in the line of danger against the craziest sons of bitches on the fucking planet, the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, but they're still not good enough that you have to clone yourself. You've risked their lives. It's in vain. It's a shitty move. Batman is a shitty dad. I don't know if he's as shitty as a dad as Goku, but he's not a good role model. That's fucked up. That's so arrogant. If I was Nightwing, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck you, Batman. So that's my thoughts on that. Joe says what he meant, he was not a sidekick. Well, he was not a sidekick, Joe, because Batman was too old. He was just like, I need you to go fight my war for me because I'm too old to fight it. And even although I'm waning in health and gonna die, I still don't want to give it up. Like, he's worse than the Punisher. Joe says, Double A says, I don't like it. I hated that. Agree. Joe says, great episode. Epilogue. Amanda Waller kills it. Yeah, it is a cool episode, and I did like it. Before I'd say any Batman Beyond. I'm not saying it's still not a great episode. It still is, but I would like to think of it maybe as one of these like Elseworld stories, like it's like off to the side or whatever. Jack, did you leave? I had a good question for you coming up, Jack. But interesting on that. Yeah, for sure. And it's a good solid episode, like unto itself, Joe, which is how I watched it. That's what I watched first. That would probably been my first exposure to Terry McGinnis. Double A says Riddler's costume sucks ass. Told Rizzo. The new one, the Zodiac Killer. I mean, I guess they got to give it the vibe of the real. I mean, I don't know if question mark suit it's gonna work out in a realistic setting. Amazing how they did it with Joaquin, right, and made the Joker thing work. But yeah, the Batman Riddler. I figured that's who you're talking about. Gotham will always need a Batman. Bloodhaven has Nightwing. I mean, I would just move there. At this point, Gotham should just be bulldozed. But Riddler looks like Zodiac. Yeah, agree, Joe. Do you like the look, Joe? Do you like the way the new Riddler looks? I did dig it. Um, Jack, are you still here? Jack, have you seen the Batman trailer? And do you think yes, Nightwing? I got it. Where's he at? He's right here somewhere, hanging out with me. I've always got him hanging out nearby. Double A. For our visual watchers, you can check out my courtesy of Lucky the Dork Dad. I got my Nightwing Red Hood 2-pack there. If you're just listening, you can go check out the video on. Well, if you're watching us on Spotify, you can watch us now too. So you'll see this on Spotify, and you can see us on YouTube as well. So you can get the visual. Joe says Jim Carrey rocked the question marks. Definitely, man. Definitely, Jim Carrey, man. Outstanding as the Riddler. And Double A says badass figures. Thank you very much, Double A. Appreciate that. Jack says I'm here, but I haven't seen the trailer. Definitely check it out. Jack, I got your baby's gift, and congratulations on that, by the way. Your soon to be baby boy, and I think you're gonna like it. It's really, really cool. So all things aside, I am glad that your baby shower got postponed, because then it means I get to be there. So I like that. So let me ask you guys this question, Jack, since you're here, and I think we've got Joe and we've got Double A. I know, and for our listening audience. So this was another question. Again, I'm borrowing from the Kevin Smith podcast, Fat Man Beyond. I want to give credit where credit's due, but it says they got asked this: what Star Wars property would you want to write? So I think that the answers they gave were one of them. It was either Mark or Kev that said like one of them wanted to do like the Wedge Antilles story, which I think has been told, and then I think another one was saying like kind of like a Tales of Mos Espa, like the bar, like or I think that was Kev that said he'd do like it's like an intergalactic like Clerks, you know what I mean, where it's like the side character story. So I've said this before, probably on this show, excuse me, but and let you guys think about it a little bit. But what Star Wars story would you want to write? My Star Wars, I think they said it too, almost like a what if. I would want to do that story, like a what if Luke took Vader's offer when Vader says, join me and together we'll rule the galaxy as father and son. And Luke has a moment and he's thinking about it, and he thinks to himself the only way to stop this evil is united with him, and he takes Vader's hand, and then they do rule the galaxy as father and son. I would love to write that story and see that Star Wars story brought to life. Jack says, thank you very much. I think in regards to his pending baby coming. And Joe says, I'm all for Pattinson, and the Riddler actor is pretty good. Yes, Paul Dano, excellent in There Will Be Blood. I'm looking forward to that as well. Joe, good call on that. Double A says, Shadows of the Empire, great story. Dash Rendar, man, I know that your brother played that game, and I liked it. No, I think that's great. I mean, if that's a story that you would want to tell and see fleshed out. Shizor, are they the Black Sun or the, I can't remember what their organization was called, but yeah, that was a great story, man. I love that Shadows of the Empire story because it was that bridge, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's considered canon anymore or not, but mine would be, like I said, the what if story. Joe, Jack, do you guys have and anyone else out there watching us in a live streaming land or later on? Feel free to write in. But what would be your write in? Your Star Wars story, your Star Wars property that you would want to write. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we have Boba Fett and we have The Mandalorian, and there's been, Rogue One, Solo. We're gonna get Andor, Ahsoka. It's like they're taking these. I love what Joe's gonna say. I write the Jar Jar redemption story, make him a badass bounty hunter. Yeah, I've also heard of Jar Jar being a Sith, Jar Jar being a Jedi. Those would be cool. I know that the actor Ahmed Best, I believe it's Ahmed Best, did get like a role like on the Star Wars game show where they put kids to like these kind of Star Wars-esque trials so they could kind of become Jedis. I can't remember what that was, like on Disney Kids or something like that, but apparently he was the Jedi Master that was the host. I thought that was a neat redemption for him, and he didn't have to be in all the gear, so that's pretty cool. Double A says, we need to write the Silver Surfer prequel story, CM, where he is a full herald of Galactus destroying world. I will 100% write that with you, brother. Off topic, no, that's 100% on topic. There's no topics here tonight, guys. It is the open forum. Jack says, I'd like to write the story of Palpatine after Return of the Jedi. What did he do up till his return? Yeah, I mean, there's obviously 30 years there between we see Rey, before we see Rey and and Finn and all that story. So, what was he up to? Amassing that underwater army, apparently. But that'd be an interesting one. And Joe, I like yours too. I like maybe seeing Jar Jar do something else. I mean, we don't see him die, right? So, I mean, he's apparently still alive. There was also another character that I always liked named Quinlan Voss. I thought he would have been an interesting character. Uh, we talked a little bit before, me and Double A, about the Punisher changing logos. I'm gonna switch topics too, whatever. And because of all the appropriation or whatever the hell they call it, so stupid. It came up on Kevin Smith's podcast too, and Kevin Smith said it'll be back, the old Punisher logo. So, I agree. I hate that they're even changing it briefly. I hate that they're making him the leader of the Hand briefly. Like, that's just so un-Frank Castle. I don't like anything that undoes what Garth Ennis did. I think the greatest Punisher storyteller there is. So that's something. Joe says, you go into the cantina with all these tough badass aliens and then you hear Misa Bounty. Yeah. I mean, that'd be something. Oh my gosh, there's a great scene in the What We Do in the Shadows, the show version, where one of the guys is an energy vampire and he's doing the Jar Jar impersonation to kind of like wear down somebody. He's one of the vampires, but he's an old English vampire, and he's like, "That's a great voice you're doing. Do that more. It's making me laugh." And he's like, "Damn, the Jar Jar is like never hits with anybody." So it's interesting. I don't know, guys. What else is it that you guys feel like talking about tonight here? I mean, like I said, I know we're at an hour already. Can cut it any time. Is anybody going to go out to the Dale Ekman's show tomorrow and go check it out? See if there's anything there. We're in the process of collecting some marshmallow, Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, the minis from the new movie, Funko Pops. So it may be an opportunity. Again, I have to work. But half the day, so I may have an opportunity at the end of the day to go. But Joe says we need a real Galactus. Yeah, I think so. I think that Marvel Studios, in its current incarnation, would be the perfect people to bring Fantastic Four and a real Galactus to life without making it look crazy. I mean, obviously they did great stuff with the Celestials, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like it makes stuff like that believable. You can definitely do that. And Joe is saying here, AA cast Galactus. Oof. I mean, I think it's got to be mainly CGI. I don't know if you actually put a guy in a suit and make him big, but that's a wonderful idea. I would love to hear that. Don't forget my casting for the Surfer for the body, Alexander Skarsgård. Is that his name? Damn, I don't know if that's his name. I'm gonna look it up real quick before I keep screwing it up, because that guy's a great actor, and I think he's coming out in a new nomadic. It's not nomadic. It's a Viking type show, and he's going to be in that. Let me see what his name is here. Where am I at here? I'm looking at the True Blood cast. Yeah, it is Alexander Skarsgård. He's got an interesting picture on his IMDb with no pants on but a tuxedo top. He was Tarzan. It says he was in that Big Little Lies. I didn't see that. And I think his upcoming project is called... oh man, what is it called? I don't see it here, but I saw a trailer for it, and he plays like an old Viking, type thing, which is interesting. That's kind of what his character is like in True Blood. But Alexander Skarsgård, I think he might be the son of Stellan Skarsgård. It's great. Oh, love that. Lawrence Fishburne as Galactus. That's pretty premiere right there. I dig that. Can you imagine his booming voice, and then you got the Watcher, our current Watcher, whose name escapes me right now too. It's probably getting late and the beer kicking in, but he's also wonderful as the Watcher, and I would love to hear Jeffrey Wright, who's going to be Commissioner Gordon in the Batman. I'd love to hear those voices booming at each other. The Watcher and Galactus, love that. And as Galan, yes, love that. Jack says, I'd love to go to Ekman's, but probably shouldn't due to me having Omni Unicron. Man, you got the big one right there, Jack. Yeah, I know, man. Super sucks. But hey, I mean, apparently it's becoming like it happens to everybody now, so you can't get away from it. Um, Joe says, me and Luck were talking about Robbie from Cobra Kai as a Nightwing Robin. Again, I know you sent me a picture earlier, Joe, of a young man, potential Nightwing. I think that's going too young. Like, I think that part of what makes Nightwing interesting and what I like about the Brendan Thwaites guy that's doing it on the Titans show is that he looks a little bit more mature, like a man or whatever, because that's supposed to be, when you get Nightwing into Nightwing, he shouldn't look Robinish. He should look like a manish already. Um, so those guys are a little too young. Robbie's a little too young. The kid that you showed a little too young. Um, you're getting into kind of like again with that Tom Holland like range of looking where it's like you look a little bit not grown up enough. The kid that plays him in Titans is like a tall guy, like, and he's you know chiseled looking. So it's like, oh yeah, that's Nightwing already. You've realized your superhero ness. You know what I mean? Not as a not looking sidekick-ish, in my opinion. Uh, Double A says that's badass. It says he's not tall, so that's another thing. And then he says Robbie's 30. He's 30 years old? That guy's 30? Jesus. I would never have guessed that. There's another guy. I just been on a True Blood kick. Ryan Quantiton. He played Suki's brother in the show. That's his name, the Ryan Quantiton or Quantiton. He played her brother Jason in True Blood. He's got a good look. And in fact, there's a fan made on YouTube where he's Venom. If you guys have never seen it, go check it out. And there's also like a fan made Thomas Jane one. Thomas Jane came back as the Punisher, and it was like this guy just did like a little like I don't know 2-3 minute film for those two guys. The one guy was the Venom one way before the Venom came out, and then the Thomas Jane, he got him back to be the Punisher, and he did this little like 2-minute movie that was like better than all the damn Thomas Jane Punisher movies. It was like way, or the one movie, it was way better, like in just 2 minutes. I'll send the link out to you guys that are here tonight. I agree with you though, Double A. He's not tall. And Joe says no. The Robbie 30 says no. I'm kidding. He says fuck yeah, Thomas Jane was a good one. The fan made one, right? You're talking about Joe, not the other one. Jack says Cobra Kai Robbie is 23. Yeah, I do think that those group of kids though in those shows are fantastic, and they're wonderful. They're going to be wonderful in so much stuff while they're still young. If they jump into stuff, what were we trying to cast a while back, Double A? And we were like, man, we don't know the name of any youthful people, but it needs to be like a younger group, and we couldn't think of like who was young right now. And I was like, damn, we should just thought about them as a whole. You guys that are here live still, I think that we're all caught up on Cobra Kai. Me and Double A definitely want to dive into it. It was fantastic. Loved it. Loved season 4. I'm pretty sure we all cannot wait for season 5. That show has not slowed down. I've been super impressed with how they've managed to keep it fresh and going. Although Joe, I do know you had a little bit of a particular opinion on it. I don't know if you care to reshare what you think that opinion is, or what your opinion was, and then we can talk about what we think about that particular opinion. Joe says yes. The laundromat, right, for the Punisher. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it was very, very good. Double A says Masters of the Universe. I think that's right. Yeah, we were like, man, we got to think of some younger people, like who would be good. Which Mary Mauser, who plays LaRusso's daughter, she could be Attila, right? I mean, I could see it. You know what I mean? Like if we're going to cast them younger, you know what I mean? Like I think so. Joe says, dude, they got Kenny from Miles. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too premature on that. That kid too. I don't know. I mean, he could be. I could see him maybe as a Miles Morales. I feel like somewhere a little bit older than him, but like younger than. I don't know. There could be somewhere in the middle. Maybe one of the kids from that new Fresh Prince show they got that's going to come out. The serious take on the Fresh Prince. Jack says, I'm not. Oh, you're not done with Cobra Kai. Oh, shit. Sorry, Jack. No spoilers. No spoilers for Jack on that. He says, oh man, was it something with Jerry? What did we talk about with Jerry that it could have been? The Robotech stuff, maybe something like that, or a Voltron. Again, you could get young people. Shit, the Cobra Kai cast would be great Power Rangers, right? You know what I mean? So, um, Joe says we talked some of that on Now Watch This. Yeah. For sure. The X Men, yeah, right. That might have been exactly what it was because you need them to be younger. Tori definitely would be X-Men's Rogue. Joe says, yeah, Tori would make a great Rogue. For sure. I don't know, can she do the Southern accent? That's a good aspect of that character. Yeah, and I could see Robbie as mainly maybe as maybe like a Gambit. I could see that potentially. You know what I mean? I hope that um, Miguel's character gets more stuff. As a Latino. I don't know if he's. I know that they're Ecuadorian in the show, but I'm wondering, is he Mexican in real life, or is he uh, um, Puerto Rican or something like that, whatever. But I hope he gets more roles for sure. Joe says that Fresh Prince looks horrible. Jack and Double A, have you guys seen the trailer for the new Fresh Prince, executive produced by Will Smith, but it's going to be, it's just called Bel Air, and it's going to be like a serious take on it, like on the story. Kid from West Philadelphia gets in a scrap on the yard and has to come live with his rich family. It looks interesting. I mean, I give the pilot a chance. You know what I mean? Like, just check it out. I don't want to hate on something before I totally see it. Hawk as Gambit, Joe says. Yeah, could see that. If you could pull off the accent, that'd be cool too. What about the Hawk's friend, the real dopey tall kid? What are we? Is he Beast? He could be Beast, right? Just totally rip off the Cobra Kai cast. Double A Blue Beetle from Miguel. That's right. Yeah, that's the word. I think they could. I know that the movie that you had me watch, Joe Titans. Well, I don't remember if it was a Titans movie or whatever. Titans versus JLA. Yeah, I think that one. Um, is that the one the Blue Beetle comes out in or whatever? And he's pretty good in that one. It's the Latino kid. It's like the Blue Beetle suit's kind of like a symbiote, and that's pretty sweet. I think if they, then that's the one they're gonna go with the kid that plays Miguel. That'd be pretty cool. But I also feel like, man, Blue Beetle. You know what I mean? Like they could have. I think he deserved a little bit more. You know what I mean? So we'll see with that. Jack says, yeah, I saw it. I don't care for it, to be honest. Um, Joe says, Hawk for Firestarter. Is that an X-Men, Joe? I think you're thinking of the old Drew Barrymore movie. Double A says, no, for the Fresh Prince, probably not for me. Yeah, I know. I just feel like maybe I want to see the one episode just to see if I can get into it. Double A says, yeah, I think that's why Miguel looked bigger. Yeah, he definitely bulked up. Double A says, yeah, he got really big. He's booking up for DC. And then Joe says, Teen Titans vs. Justice. Yeah, that was the one. It was pretty good. Solid movie. So I definitely dug that. I didn't have really much else here, guys, that I wanted to talk about kind of in this open forum. So I'll leave it to you guys. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Other than that, I guess I had read what they had said about that Superman story or whatever about the whole prison thing and all that, and it had really like bugged me. Jack says here regarding Frisch's, no one can replace Uncle Phil, aka the Shredder. Totally agree with that. Definitely, man. Avery Brooks, right? Avery Brooks was the Uncle Phil's name. Uh, Dude, so great. So great. But yeah, Double A saying stupid sucks, stupid ass Superman story. Yeah, agree, man. And I hate to say it, but like I saw some I heard a video, and it's from that artist Double A that you told me was in like a lot of hot water for his kind of strong views on character switching races and things like that or whatever. And I definitely don't agree with him on kind of where the vein of those views come from. And I listened to one or two podcasts too from Chuck Dixon. I think we all know Chuck Dixon here, the comic book artist and writer, probably fans of his work. Again, I don't know his personal politics, but I listened to these episodes on these specific things. And one of the things he was talking about in this episode he talked about Captain America and Superman and kind of like how they try to like change certain things about them. Uncle Phil is James Avery. Yeah, why did I say Avery Brooks? Who am I thinking of? Yes, thank you, Jack. But yeah, he was kind of talking about how you strip away, make Captain America Hell Hydra, and you take away these things from him. And Superman, it's not true justice in the American way no more, or whatever. And then obviously this new story comes out, and you know, Chuck Dixon didn't talk about that particular story, you know what I mean? But this other guy did. This other artist that was in Hot Water, Double A, I forget his name, but again, while I don't agree with either one of their probably personal politics, is like they did have some interesting opinions on the state of comic book characters. And to me, and I talked to this person on Twitter or whatever. She's a big Superman buff, and I said, "What do you think about this?" I sent her the article, via Twitter, and she was like, "Oh, that I think that it's an interesting and creative dynamic." And I was like, "Man, really? Like, I hate that. I don't like. Again, we like a character like Andy Dufresne, because the character gives you hope. But you don't want to be Andy Dufresne. You don't want to go through what he went through. But you like a character like Superman because he gives you hope. But you do want to be Superman. You want to fly and have strength and a red cape and a spit curl. You know what I mean? There's things that and you look to those characters for hope. It doesn't matter what you went through in your life, whether maybe something really bad happened to you, or you were in an abusive home, or just a tough time or whatever. But you go and you escape into those comic books, and they bring you joy and they make you feel happy. I don't need those things to happen to Superman to make me relate to him. I relate to him through the way that he makes me feel, through the acts that he does and engages in. He helps people. He's this larger than life guy. He always errs on the side of the right and the just. That's fantastic. I love that about him. Double A, I see you agreeing. Nope, it's stupid. And then Double A says, remember, it's a comic, not supposed to be real life. Absolutely. This is what you go to escape from. I know people that say they love Marvel shit, Star Wars shit, stuff like that, because they're like, man, I don't want, our good buddy, friend of the podcast, Marquise, says that. He goes, I don't want to go watch war movies, people on drugs, PTSD, kids get raped, killed, murdered. I don't fucking want to see that shit. He's like, I want to go see this other stuff with green guys and lightsabers because it makes me escape my day-to-day life, the reality, the harsh, cruel world that we live in, and agree. And we all love comic books like The Watchmen and, like a Garth Ennis Punisher that are more grounded in reality as a contrast to that, you know what I mean? But again, it's like, when we talked about the Punisher, they said it in the comic books themselves. It's like you find the Punisher story interesting, but you don't want to be the Punisher. The guy's whole family got gunned down in front of him or whatever, and he goes on this lifelong, killing spree. It's like you don't want that. You don't really want to be Batman. Like Batman's parents got gunned down in front of him too. It's like I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like but there's something about being a strange visitor from another planet where we've always been, in a new job or at a new school. You feel like a stranger. You feel like out of place. You've been somewhere before and felt out of place, and you want nothing more to maybe be accepted or gain that acceptance. That's very much like the Spider-Man story as well. You know what I mean? The story of kind of trying to fit in and engaging in your own awkwardness. So for me to do that to that character, or even allude to that aspect with Superman, is just so a grab at attention, a lack of creativity. You've got nothing left. One of the things that I really loved in your episode, Double A, with Loverboy George DeLeon, was the aspect you talked about what Jim Cornette said about how the NWA was different from WWE with the hero's journey, and that's what you need to do with Superman. And this is something that Chuck Dixon said. He said you just need to write a great story and then put Superman in it. Find a way to work him into the story, but already write the great story. That's how you do a Superman story, is what he was saying. And I found that aspect very interesting, because he was saying, he was like, characters like Superman and Captain America are like these pillars, like they're stalwarts, like they're already there. You don't want to fuck with what's already ready, right, and set. So when you do things like that and you change those things, then you're not writing a good story. You don't want to affect the pillars because you're going to fuck up the foundation, and that kind of makes sense, right? Like your house is already there. You decorate it and change it however you want inside, but you don't and I guess in some cases you would, but you don't, for the most part, go punching holes through the wall with a fucking sledgehammer. That would be stupid. Let me read you guys' comments. Jack says, what do you think of a live-action Thundercats? Man, we have had this conversation, Jack. I think that's a fantastic idea. I recently just read that Anthony Mackie, who plays the Falcon and now Captain America, said he would want to be Panthro in a movie. I think that he'd be great. I also think Idris Elba would be great as Panthro. I think that there is a market for a live action movie, Jack. I think it's the only one of the bigs that we talk about from the 80s, which is like He-Man, um, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Thundercats, and Turtles. If you're going to go the big five, it's the only one that hasn't gotten a live action treatment. It's been remade. That's an aspect that you get. You got to get remade. It's had several. Well, no, just one makeover, right? The one that you guys really, or no, two makeovers because there was a Thundercats Roar, right? So it's gotten makeover treatment, and so the next step for Thundercats is live action. Man, I'd love that. Let's do it. You can definitely get some of those Cobra Kai kids to be the two kids. I forget their names, Kit and something else. Somebody help me out there with that. Jack says, would there be any interest in one? Yes, there would. I think there would 100% be interest in a live action Thundercats movie. And Jack says, agrees with Marquise about wanting to escape. Totally. For the most part, that's why I don't listen to news, local news, because it's just all bad. Although I have recently gotten into one true crime podcast, which is just a bunch of bad shit. But it's interesting the way things go about. So you try to get to that part. Joe says it helps to escape. Absolutely agree. Double A says Rambo badass, don't want to be him. Thank you Double A saying preach there. Thank you brother Devon, I appreciate it. Double A says WWF hero defends against a bad guy, stays on top in NWA, and it's hero defends against bad guy, stays on top in the WWF. NWA, hero's journey to defeat bad guy at the end. Yes, I like that better, right? That's what you do with these characters, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to have, you can't have Superman and Cap at the top always. They've got to be on the journey. Now, I know it's difficult to make that with them being who they are, but that's what it is. The Up and Away story that I told you about at one time, Double A, and all the Friday Nighters are listening, was a great story about that. Batman basically says, go do this thing off-world that I can't do. I can't fly into deep space. And Superman at first doesn't want to go because he's like, man, if I leave Metropolis, all this shit's going to go wrong. And Batman's like, don't worry, we'll get it. You know what I mean? And he has to kind of convince Clark to go or whatever. And he doesn't want to leave Lois. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, man, I don't want that or whatever. But again, Batman's like, I can't do this. You've got to be the one to go do it. And it makes for a really interesting story. And he does go through some shit. You know what I mean? Because there's always, despite what people say that it's hard to write an interesting Superman story, not if you're a good writer, it's not. You get to this, you put him through those things or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what makes them epic, is the climbing. I like that very much. Double A. That's a great from Jim Cornette though. Joe says, you don't burn your crops, especially your cash crop. No, you don't. You call them Blue Boy Scouts, both of them, Cap and Soup, for a reason. In the amalgam world they did, there's a reason why they merged those two. And it's like, exactly right, man. It's like, let them be who they are. That's what they're there for. Even if it means that they can't be another Superman movie or a Captain America movie, but you can have them show up. You know what I mean? You can work them in. You know what I mean? So I think that's great. Wily Kit and Wily Cat. Yeah, definitely. What if you got Robbie and Samantha LaRusso to be Wily Kit and Wily Cat? Wouldn't they be great? They'd be great. I think it's good, solid casting right there. But yeah, we I don't know if we ran down our casting for that, Jack, but there's an episode somewhere, I'll find it for you, where me and Double A talk Thundercats in a live action who we would cast. I probably made John Cena Lion-O or something like that. I mean, dude, the guy's freaking huge, you know what I mean? Like, you want your Lion-O to be huge, right? But who would you cast, Jack, fantasy casting for Thundercats? Is there anybody out there in particular that you think could get it done? I mean, you need someone like big and athletic for Chitara, I think. I know our minds go to wrestlers, but we got to also think like, can they act? Obviously The Rock's on top of the world. He'd be a great Panthro as well, I think. Or a Lion-O. Shit, he could do any one of those roles. They're going to paint him up, right? I mean, I think the key is to not make him look too close to the way those actors looked in Cats when they did that. They did that Cats live action. It was terrible, Double A says Gina Carano for Chitara. I dig that, man. I dig that. I know she's not the most beloved person right now. But if she gets back on Mandalorian season 3, I think people come back around. I love her as Cara Dune, and yeah, I think she'd be badass as a Chitara for sure. Um, can we get Morgan Freeman as Jaga? I think I like that. You know, he's not buff, but there's gonna be some aspects of CGI, right? You know what I mean? It could be the voice of Jaga. Body wise, he might be looking more like Mumra, but shit. When you have Mumra in the big form, I mean, who do you get? Maybe we need Cena for that part, or it's got to just be a CGI Mumra. Be pretty cool. But man, I think there would be a huge. I think that it would really blow up a Thundercats live action movie. I think there could be a lot of potential there, especially now. Like we're at the place where it can be done. Um, and again, it's the only one of the big, I would say, the big five '80s cartoons that hasn't gotten the live action treatment. Don't know why. You know what I mean? I've heard that it's been tossed around before, but yeah, Jack. I don't know if you know this, but me and Double A guested on a podcast with a friend of ours, Jerry Davila. His podcast is called Totally Rad Christmas. It was our first episode with him. He talks about all things Christmas in the '80s, and the reason why Thundercats came up was because that was a gift we probably all got in the '80s. Was at least one Thundercat. The bigger figures. In fact, I always keep Lion-O hanging out right here with me too. For those of you on our watching audience, you see me show my Lion-O figure here that I like to show off. This sword always kind of bends depending on which way you turn it, but yeah, this is one of my favorite and best Lion-O figures. Love the posability and all that. But damn, I mean, you gotta get the big guy for this, for sure. Joe says, "Oh, yeah." So, dude, Joe, do you have any fantasy castings for the Thundercats live action movie? I want to hear what you think, man. I think it'd be good. Oh, I love this double A right here. Henry Cavill for Lion-O. The Allstate guy for Panthro. Oh, I like that. That guy's definitely got the voice. Yeah. Oh, Jack, Chris Hemsworth for Lion-O. Man, those are both really solid, really buff guys, for sure. I know Chris Hemsworth can kind of play like, I know Lionel's supposed to be like a younger guy that kind of gets aged up. Chris Hemsworth, I think, definitely plays with that a little bit in his comedic role in the female Ghostbusters cast. So that could be good. Definitely good. Joe says Allstate dude is Serrano. Agree. Fuck you, Joe Boo. Ewan McGregor for Tigra. Damn, I like that. That's pretty solid. And yeah, Tigra is like the brains, right? Is he the brains? What's Tigra's kind of role? He's like the spiritual leader. I can't really remember. Panther was the one that was building shit. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good cast. Um, what about we get Zach Galifianakis for Slithe? The we start to cast some of the mutants. You know what I mean? So that's that maybe would be who that would be. Okay. Joe says Denzel as Mumra. All right, I guess so. He's gonna be Macbeth, right? He's already Macbeth, I think, on HBO Max right now. So that could be cool. I'm for that. Denzel can do no wrong. He hasn't really dipped his toes in like superhero shit, right? Like he hasn't really gone near any of the big two anyway to do anything. So, I don't know. Denzel might be slipping into that where Denzel plays Denzel every role now. So I don't know. I don't know. You know. I think my mind just went for some reason to Denzel as Galactus, and he's like, these planets ain't got shit on me. uh, Ron Perlman as Groon. Oh, okay. Oh, I like that. That's really good, Jack. Yeah, very solid. Very nice. He's got the face for it, right? You're thinking he already kind of looked like him in the old Beauty and the Beast show, right? Kind of looked like Groon. Yeah. Joe says that works. This Denzel for Galactus. Yeah, says Ron is a great choice. Yes, Ron's a great choice for Groon. He also has like the elder statesman vibe to him. Shit, who can we get? We can get one of that big Jack guy too from the older jacked guy from Avatar. He could be Jaga as well if we want to actually paint up the body. Now I'm thinking of someone that can fight with Ron Perlman. You gotta have someone with equally buff. You know what I mean? We get J.K. Simmons to bulk back up again and bring him in there. So good castings though, man. I like the Ron Perlman one. That's a good one. Jordan Peele is Snarf. Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Freddie Lowndes, from Red Dragon. Philip Seymour Hoffman is no longer in the living, so that would be he's dead. So I don't know if we can get Freddie Lowndes for anything, or are you talking about one of the other Freddie Lowndes from one of the other incarnations or something else? But Jordan Peele as Snarf is pretty good. Jack, you could also get the other one. Oh shit, I can't remember who plays Freddie Lowndes in The Manhunter. You got to get me on that one. Double A, remind me. Someone says, "Hey, what's up?" Facebook user, I do not see your name, so if you just commented, "Hey, what's up?" tell me your name. Oh, the Avatar guy. That's the guy that was. Yeah, I need to get his name. I gotta look his name up. Let me look his name up real quick for you, Double A, while we're here. Who said nice shirt? Hey, what on Facebook? It sounds to me like you're in our Facebook group, whoever you are, but you need to like our Facebook page, and then I'll see your name on this format that I'm using. We were experimenting with this earlier, and it seemed like since I'm streaming this live to our Facebook group, if you're in our Facebook group, the Friday Night Faithful, well, welcome. I appreciate you being part of the group, but I'd also like you to like our Facebook page for the podcast, which is called Just Another Friday Night. And if you do that, then I will see your name. If one of you is out there, Double A or Joe, can you look in on the comments and see who said, "Hey, what's up? Nice shirt." Because thank you very much. It is pretty damn nice. The Just Another Friday, one of our earlier shirts. So we appreciate that. Jack says Ian McShane as Jaga. I can't think of his face. Jack, I have to look him up. Joe says Nick Cage as Nick Cage is Groon. Nick Cage can do anything now, right? He's even playing himself in his new movie. And let's see. Double A says, I don't see that comment. And then Facebook says, holding us hostage, JK. No, I just want to see who you are because I can't see your name. What I see on my end right now, it just says Facebook user. And I don't want to call you that because I appreciate that you complimented my shirt and I'd like to thank you by name. Again, Double A said I don't see the comment. Jack says, "Oh, I love Alexandra Daddario as Chitara. Yeah, I think she'd make a great Mary Jane Watson as well." Joe says he only sees Double A. Double A says John Wick, hotel manager Ian McShane. Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. As who? Who did we have him as Jaga? Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, all right. That's some good casting right there. Let me see. I'm going to pop in to the Facebook and see if I can see anything that you guys can't see, but I don't want my voice to be doubling up here, so I have to turn my phone down so that way I don't see both. But let's see here. Oh, it's Rizzo. Rizzo, is that you? Rizzo. Rizzo. Hey, what's up, man? See, I didn't know you would. No, you. I can see your name. You're not that. The person who complimented my shirt. Rizzo, find out who that is for me. Oh yeah, you were on the groups. So see, you're moving around here. You're moving around. That's why I couldn't see your name before. Rizzo in the house. What is up, my brother? We appreciate you being here, man. Rizzo, what's up, man? I hear you're becoming a podcast pro now, having already popped the old podcast cherry. From what I hear, I don't want to speak about anything that's not yet released, but now that you're in the know, we'd like to extend our invite to you to have you on our show. Me and Double A would love to bend your ear on all things art and music, which I barely found out that you were a bit of a musician. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else here. Joe says, I love Alexandra Daddario in Anything or Nothing. Same goes here for me, 100% on that. Rizzo says, "What's up again?" And then we found out the mystery. It was Rizzo sneaking around in his many personas there. He sometimes is Tony Snark, I believe, is what it is. And you are very sneaky. Rizzo is great. Oh, what do you mean, Joe? What are you breaking news here, Joe? Is that we are all holding our breath for the next episode of Now Watch This? So only you can reveal things that we don't know about Joe or Rizzo as well. Lucky said, Joe says, Lucky said, best guest ever. Oh, wow. I mean, I have to take a little bit of an offense to that, having been a guest myself, the first guest. So although Rizzo may be the best, he will never be the first. That will always be me. Riz saying double A, what's up? And then Riz says, no way, he was the best. But I heard you did have an excellent showing. If the cat is not already out of the bag. And Rizzo says, it's because he had me on the casting couch. Yeah, that's what Lucky does. He gets you there, he gets you liquored up, and then he just has his way with you. So it always makes for a good time and a fun show, though. Well, I cannot wait to hear it, brother. And whether it's virtually or not, again, you have an open invite to appear on Just Another Friday Night, which is when we normally are on. So, yeah, man. Joe says Chuck broke the cherry. Yeah, those are my love stains on the old casting couch there to turn the show completely rated R, rated X here. So yeah, that was Jess in the background. If you hear her saying sick, Riz says I'm down if I've got nothing planned. Well, forget it then, man, because you're always busy. You know what I mean? I know, family stuff, right? All of us too. We just have to ask for that Friday night off sometimes. But Riz, what do you want to talk about, man, in the world of pop culture? What have you been reading, watching, streaming, listening to? Did you watch The Last Duel? It's out on HBO Max today. I'm telling everyone that it was fantastic because I thought it was. You get to see a blonde Ben Affleck, and he acts like a real douchebag. I don't know if he's been as douchey since he was maybe Shannon Hamilton on Mallrats, or even when he was O'Banion in I can't think of the name of it right now. Why did it Dazed and Confused just went out of my head. So yeah. Let's see here. Joe says, guys, does it look like someone standing behind Chuck, or am I drunk? On my left is my hats. These are my hats these are my hats right here. Yeah. My TV's on the floor because I'm waiting to get a stand, and then my Funko Pops and my cap shield there. So yeah, if there's someone standing behind me, Joe, Bucket, let me know because that's some scary ass shit. Double A says you were drunk, my friend. So Joe probably hitting the hard stuff already. Okay. So this is what I see, guys. Someone from YouTube. It says Gums Supporter. I don't know if that's your YouTube name or not, but we appreciate being here. You say, what movie? I think you're talking about the fantasy casting. We were fantasy casting the Thundercats movie earlier. So, Gums Supporter, I appreciate you being here. And again, I'm not sure if that's the YouTube name or not, but I don't see a picture. I just see a G, so that's cool. Joe says that asshole from Fashionable Male. Yes, that is Shannon Hamilton. Riz says, I just watched Eternals, hence my late arrival. Okay, Riz, lay it on us. What did you think about that? Jack says, I'm heading out. Gonna watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. You're a wise man, Jack. Go watch that. How are you watching that, by the way? That's not out at home yet. Or are you bootlegging it there, Jack? You pulling the pirate move? Joe says, cheers, it was a long week. So there's Joe's answer to why he sees people behind me that are not there. Riz, I'm eager to hear your Eternals thoughts. We talked Eternals a little bit earlier. Some people thought that it was okay, and that's what I thought. It was okay. You know what I mean? It was, you see Eternals, then you see No Way Home, and then you're just like, fuck the Eternals. You know what I mean? Like, No Way Home. There you go, Jack. Admission on YouTube streaming bootleg. Well, there's nothing like further helping out the family of Harold Ramis at the box office than by stealing his movie. So, more power to you, Jack. Go enjoy. It was wonderful. I loved it. And I would watch it again. any way I could. So, uh, well, Riz says it was a mess, but it kind of came together at the end. Yeah, it was a lot. Like I was like, man, like do you need to introduce all 9 characters, or could you kind of just give a couple of characters more powers, like this person does this and that, and I mean, like, and it was fine. Double A, are you out there? So did you watch Eternals yet? I know it's out there. I know we're not necessarily singing its praises. It's not a bad movie. It's just like I felt like maybe, you know what, it might have been better as a Disney Plus show, and like, 8 episodes, 45 to 50 minutes. That might have made it better. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's right. We did talk about it. I think you said you liked it because of the Celestials and stuff. So it was fine, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I guess again, I guess I feel like more recent stuff has just pushed it to the. It didn't stick out. So again, not to. This is not the. I'm going to rehash the Fat Man Beyond episode or whatever, but they did talk about, Marvel did 9 things this year, and they ranked them or whatever, and they both had different orders of things or whatever. But I have to admit, man, like for me, like, obviously No Way Home at the very top. Um, and again, it's only 9 things that I guess Marvel put out, and we're talking about No Way Home, WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, What If, Eternals. That's it. And that's all the 9 or whatever, right? Like I probably put Shang-Chi and Eternals toward the bottom for me. Not because they were bad, but I just mean like I think I liked all those other things better. You know what I mean? Double A, I like that ancient alien shit. Yeah, I agree with you. There were definitely really cool aspects of it that I was like, oh, okay. Again, I guess I felt into it, but I didn't feel into it like as a Marvel movie. I just felt into it as like, oh, this is like a solid movie or whatever. Like it just happens to be a Marvel movie. Um, Spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen Eternals, but Joe says Blade tease helped. It wasn't enough. That wasn't enough of a tease for me to say that it helped or whatever. Again, it wasn't bad. I didn't care for that mid-credits scene. I was like, oh, whatever. Joe says, same big on history. Yeah, I love Ancient Aliens. Ooh, I think I'm going to watch Ancient Aliens tonight. That's a great idea. Definitely agree. The shows have been way better. Yeah, that wasn't my ranking, but I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, I would put, like I said, out of the 9 things that came out, I would probably put Eternals, and it would probably be like Eternals last, then then Shang-Chi, um, uh, then maybe Black Widow, um, then probably Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then like maybe Loki. What If? I already lost place or whatever, but I would be like working my way up that way. Like WandaVision, definitely near the top. Maybe again, Spider-Man at the very, very top, number 1. So Double A says definitely agree. The show's okay. We got that. Shang-Chi okay. Eternals good. Black Widow better. Shows have been great. Yeah, agree. And I really, really enjoyed Hawkeye, especially the second way through. And I kind of liked that it didn't have like these world ramifications. You know what I mean? It was like these global, universal threat. It was like gritty and down there in New York, and it felt very New York, and it was like they were dealing with these, close to home things. The guest spots weren't gratuitous, so to speak, and Jeremy Renner was outstanding, and I really got into the Haley Stanfield. I really got into her. Let me get a drink, guys. Throat's getting a little dry here. I like Shang-Chi too, Joe, but like I haven't revisited it. I wouldn't run out and buy Shang-Chi. I wouldn't run out and buy Eternals. I will 100% run out and buy No Way Home. And again, with the shows, it's a little hard to say would I run out and buy it, I guess, because I think of them in the Disney Plus format, and I'm like, oh, well, they're there for me to watch. But it's like I rewatched almost all of them twice. Like I rewatched like What If twice. I mean, I knew I did it for the show as well, but I rewatched What If twice. I rewatched WandaVision. I rewatched Loki. I think I only watched Black Widow once. I I just rewatched Hawkeye, so I mean, it's like and I think I did rewatch Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. So, yeah. Double A says Falcon and Winter Soldier good. What If was good. Joe says loved Yelena and Black Widow. Yes, she was the standout. And spoilers if you haven't seen Hawkeye. I know we haven't talked about it yet on the show, but we're gonna. And you know, she shows up, so there's that. Yeah. Riz says, yeah, it would have benefited from a longer TV series format to get more familiar with the characters and give them their due in time so it wouldn't seem rushed and maybe I would have cared more about the characters. Yeah, it was hard. Like, if you had a gun to my head and said name the Eternals right now, I'd be like, just blow my brains out because I can't name them. So that's not gonna happen. I can't think of their names. Icarus, Makari, Athena. That might be it. That might be it for me. That might be it for me. Yeah, so that's again, maybe it would have benefited from the long format for sure. And earlier, Rizzo, we talked about the fact that supposedly there was news that Marvel was going to give it an Oscar push, and I was like, that one, I'd put my money on No Way Home. If you're going to try it, I mean, we all know that. I don't know that a superhero movie can win Best Picture or whatever, but if you're going to try it with that one. So. Guys, we're getting up to the 2-hour mark. I'm loving talking with you guys, and I'm not gonna in any way try to cut it short if you guys have things that you want to say. But if not, I will likely end around the 2-hour mark. But we could stay here chatting. I know you just got here, Riz, so I have I have nowhere to be but work at 8 in the morning, so it's like, that's all good. Joe says, in a show, that maybe we could have had their own episodes. That would have been that's an interesting way to approach it, Joe. I like that approach. One episode per character, and in that episode you flesh them out, then you have the coming together or whatever. You could have even had the opening. Good idea, Joe. You could have done maybe 10 episodes and had an opening episode where, like, you see the threat or whatever's going on or whatever with the thing starting to be born or whatever, the celestial starting to be born, and then you like take this through the paces, and maybe like at the end of each one you kind of tie it back to that, and then at the end you have the big, that would have been cool. That would have been pretty cool. I like that idea, Joe. Double A, want more Kang? Yes, I agree with you. Me too, man. Jonathan Majors totally killed it. And I love that. I think Loki had the best theme music. I got the all along best song that came out in those, all of those. But the theme music for Loki, that opening music, man, it was like really eerie, and like there was something creepy about the TVA, like when they were there, like how things looked all 70s-ish and stuff. And I loved Mobius. It was cool. So yeah, maybe Loki would be a little bit higher on my list. I didn't think about it. Maybe it would have been like number 3 or something like that. Like, yeah, like No Way Home, maybe WandaVision, then maybe Loki. I could kind of see that. I'm gonna write it down. We should all write it down, and we'll talk about it next time we get together. Joe says Kang. Riz says something like this. Did you put a picture? I don't know what I'm missing. I might miss something. Joe says, Double A, watch The Harder They Fall. The dude that plays King. Yeah, The Harder They Fall is a good movie on Netflix, Double A. I don't know if we got a chance to really talk about it, but that was like the primarily a black cast in the Netflix movie. They have a cool Chadwick Boseman tribute on the train. Regina King, Zazie Beetz, the great guy from Get Out, Lakeith. I forget his full name, but man, boy, is that guy good. That guy is a great actor. Joe says Loki Wanda, I think. Okay. And then Double A says Miracle Man coming soon in the comics. Man, looking forward to that. I mean, right away, if I was writing it, Double A, I just have this guy like punch through the Sentry, like punch through Hyperion, like I don't want him to kill Gladiator, but like mop up Gladiator easy, like solidify himself as like there's no other need. I'm this top guy. Now, where do you stand on him going toe to toe with Surfer, Double A? Like, where does Miracle Man stand up in that fight? I'm a big Surfer proponent. So as a guy that was, I feel, depowered over the years and certainly has all the potential in the world to be the top guy at Marvel. And I'd love to hear what Joe and Riz think about that statement as well. Uh, Rizzo says, missed my comment. Scroll back. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. I'm scrolling back. About the longer TV format, I got that one. Then you said you saw Shang-Chi and Venom 2 on the same night. Woo, that's a lot. At the drive-thru, I wish Shang-Chi would have played first so we could have left early. Wow. No love for the Venom 2 and the Carnage. You know, I saw it with my nephew. He's a big symbiote fan. He's 8, and he loved it. And so that made me love it. And that's all it really took for me to like both those Venom movies. And that Venom song by Eminem, shit, I heard the whole lyrics. Like, I really listened to it the other day, and I was like, damn, this is like a badass song. Like, it's just like a good rap song, like, without the whole... He spins in Venom, the character, into the song, but damn, it's like, that song is fucking fire or whatever, so... But that's just me on that. Yes, Rose, I did miss that comment. I'm sorry, but I saw it now and fuck. I wouldn't personally rush out to buy either one of those unless it was for my nephew, the Venom movies. But there were, you know what I said good about, Let There Be Carnage. I was like, it's a 90-minute movie, and 90-minute movies are dead, and all these people can only tell these stories in long format. A show or a 2.5-hour movie. Now, when it's No Way Home, that's fine. It doesn't feel like it. But I think even me and my girlfriend felt like there were parts of Eternals where we were like, are we going to get there? Like, it's like this is becoming like a journey. You know what I mean? And what do all these shows get criticism of? Even Boba Fett's getting criticism. Early on, it's slow. What the fuck do you want? You know what I mean? Like, you want like Darth Vader right at the beginning of every show or whatever. That's not a spoiler because I don't think he comes out that I know of. Whatever. But I mean, like, it's like, what the fuck do people want? Like, they want like, oh, bring out fucking Kingpin in episode 1, and it's like, come on, dude. If you were watching a movie, and again, although me and Double A agree that we like the shows coming out weekly, and I do also love on my rewatch that I am like, don't have to wait. Like, I'm like, oh, it kind of flows better because it's really only like 5 hours, when you think about those shows in the long format. So. Let me see what I missed here, guys. Oh wow. Double A, yep, agree. Joe says punch Omicron. And Double A says fuck, don't make me choose. See, I know, right? Let's see. Joe says Spider-Man to me always Marvel #1. I think he was a little bit in the back seat more recently because of the Marvel stuff, and like Iron Man was up there, oddly enough. Double A says the longer he's in the suit, he gets stronger and more abilities, but Surfer is one strong son of a bitch. Yeah, I agree. It'd be one hell of a fight. I'd like to see that. I'm so interested in seeing more of that Miracle Man stuff, Double A, and I want to read it too, so I can get more versed with his character, because I find him interesting. Those issues you'd let me read before, I found very, very interesting, and I didn't get to finish. But yeah, Riz says, "Oh yeah, Venom seems geared for a younger crowd. Good popcorn movie. I don't like Venom's voice and how goofy they made him. Yeah, he was DJing at one point. That's a little bit out there. Is he a joke to you, Sony? Earlier, Riz, before you got here, one of the things I said that unfortunately, like for my nephew even too, as the young fan he is." He was asking a lot about the Spider-Man stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, man. I mean, like, kind of what you when you do these movies from the villain aspect and you strip out the hero or whatever, like really only the Joker did it right. It's like what makes the character so interesting is the hero aspect of it too, that you're like, I'm engaged in this villain because of the your interaction or your relationship with the hero or whatever. Again, even if you just had like you could have done that whole movie that way, but maybe Eddie Brock works at the Daily Bugle and like you just see like Spider-Man web swing by or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, something, they cross paths somehow or whatever. You have there be the Spider-Man, character or whatever, or even a sense of the character around, it leaves you the hook baited for there to be more, you know what I mean, when it comes to that character. But when you take that away, then it's kind of like, well, okay, now I've got to build up a story and everything around, the villain alone, and a villain, I know he's an anti-hero, Venom, whatever, but maybe not as strong, definitely not as strong of a history as someone like the Joker. where you almost don't even need to tell the story because we already know it, and this is just another variation of it. Excuse me. Um, Rizzo says, I love the MCU shows. Absolutely agree, 100%. Double A. Split is a perfect supervillain movie for me. Love that movie. Yeah. Yeah, that is really great. That's really, really. I love Split. Split's a really, really fun movie. Really great. I don't own it. Um, but see you talking about it, I'm like, I would go rewatch it right now. You know what I mean? Like that's a great movie. I love Split. And well done superhero movie. Uh, you know, without being in the superhero genre. So, well, not being from one of the big companies, whatever, but an independently created, by M Night villain for sure. Joe says, we say it all the time, hero only as good as the villain. Absolutely true. And villain only good as the hero. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to you're introducing the Venom character or whatever without Spider-Man, which is kind of how we all got introduced to Venom, and then you just have him in these he's got to be building to something, right? There's got to be some action in a fight, and it's like, oh, what does he fight? But another symbiote. And then in your second movie, you just you introduce the more well known by name symbiote, which could have just easily been in the first one or whatever. But again, it didn't have a lot of story to it, and it was quick and dirty. You know what I mean? Sometimes we like to this. Rizzo says, I think I downloaded the wrong split. Send me that link, Riz. Double A says it's a fucking horror show. You want Bruce Willis to kick his ass when you see him at the end. Yeah, definitely, man. And it's freaky too. Um, uh, James McAvoy, totally underrated performance, man. It's unfortunate that Jack left because he's a huge fan of Split, I believe, as well. But man, McAvoy's performance in that is, switching to the characters, you really buy the multiple personality uh, syndrome or whatever that he's experiencing big time, and he's freaky scary. And we've also got our gal in there, right? Anna Joy Taylor Joy. Damn, I forget how her name goes. She's got three names too. It makes me always confused. But she's fantastic. Obviously, Queen's Gambit, and I know no one loved the New Mutants. I think except me and you, Double A, were the only ones that thought it was okay. You know what I mean? Like again, it felt like kind of like that Venom. Like, oh, it's like if I haven't seen that, I sat and I watched it, and I saw that in theater when our first round of COVID was hyped, but it was because we had some family had gotten a whole theater for like 10 people, and we spread out, and I watched the New Mutants, and I was like, God, this is like okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the hugest New Mutants fan, so it wasn't like I was like, oh, this is all wrong or whatever. I was like, it's just like a fine movie. Like, it just was what it was. I thought New Mutants was all right. Joe says, quick and dirty, what were you watching? He says, or Rizzo, you downloaded the right movie. Yes, and Double A says, yep, her. And then Riz shushes Joe. Great stuff, guys. All great stuff, man. Looking forward to the episode, gentlemen. Double A, it's been great, man. I'm glad that you've been here hanging in there. Again, I'm willing to talk more, but I'm also willing to talk less. If you guys have other things you want to discuss, toss it out there. I'm going to put this show out tonight. It'll go up on our YouTube tonight as well, and Spotify, and all the other places where it'll be. Also, guys, again, we did announce that we will not be at WrestleFest tomorrow at Rolling Oaks Mall, unfortunately. We really, 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 really wanted to be there. We went through all the preparations to be there. We even invested money to be there. But I do not have the heart to do that show without Double A. If we cannot do it together, I would rather us wait till the next one comes around. They told us our spot would be held. The owner of Wrestle Shop, Oscar, said we can roll it over to the next time. So the next time he does a live wrestling event, I'm hoping maybe it becomes like a monthly thing for him. Then we will have our spot already reserved and paid for, and we'll hopefully be able to get out there. And we want to meet. We want you guys to come out and hang out with us, but we also want to meet new people, and we want to hand out stickers and do a giveaway. Again, Mario Delgado from Authority Comics provided us with some great perfect in the vein of wrestling stuff, so it's going to be super fun, man. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me on a solo episode late. in the game, although it kind of benefited, right? I saw a lot of people pop on late. Here it is, 11:30, right? We never go this late, but I didn't start till 9:30, so we're 2 hours in, so it's cool. Stayed up late enough for Rizzo to show up. Joe says, missing y'all two live fellas. Yes, man. We're definitely missing that aspect too of doing the thing that we do. Again, we want to talk Hawkeye. We want to talk Cobra Kai. Shit, who knows what I don't know what's ending next. We might, but by the time we get to that later, by the time we talk about those two, we'll probably be far enough along to either maybe talk about Boba Fett or maybe even Peacemaker for sure. Joe says, hopefully I can make it out to the next one. Yeah, man, for sure. Riz, again, like we're not going to be out there this weekend again either because circumstances as they are. But the one after that, I mean, like, I think that, if anyone is not already, boosted and vaxxed and masked and whatever, I mean, like, still be cool. At least if we know that we're both okay, then we'll go out there and it'll be okay too. But yeah, guys, unless you have anything else that you want to say, choose to talk about, Riz, go back and listen to this one, man. And anytime you guys have opinions like that or something, like write us a message or something like that, or we can bring it up at the top of the next show, because I know we kind of talked about a variety of things and touched on some things kind of twice, and we kind of had some people come in, but it was good because I wanted to hear everyone's, differing opinions on these different things. This is kind of the one fun aspect of these open forum style ones that I do solo here from my own little Fortress of Solitude, is that we get to talk about a variety of things and get you guys' opinions. And I know, like I said earlier, with Double A ran 2 great shows without me, which was awesome, and it truly helped. And he did it with what he had at his disposal, and it didn't allow him to do comments, read the comments, which were great. I was reading them and trying to respond as I went along. I watched both those shows live as they were being done. Again, NWA Wrestling with Loverboy George DeLeon, and then last week Dragon Ball Z with Jackie Boy, and they were just both they're both great. You know what I mean? So I've had a blast tonight, guys. I needed it. It was a long day at work, and tomorrow will be a short day, but it'll be work on a Saturday, so that's kind of a bummer. But again, as Joe said earlier, you look back on the paycheck, and you hopefully it was worth it. Riz says, I always go back. I subscribe to the channel. I gotta smash that like on the video. Yes, please do, Rizzo. Thank you so much. We always appreciate that. Should be up tonight. Fairly quickly here, I'm hoping. And then Joe says, oh, it was great to see AA take the reins. Absolutely it was, man. Yeah. I think I'm going to let him do the intros and outros from now on. And I'll be the expertise, which will make for a very short show. Yeah, man. We got to do that sometimes, right? You know what I mean? When you're a team, you got one of you guys to do the heavy lifting, and then some nights it's on your chance to do it by yourself. And I appreciate everyone that reached out to us, checked on both of us, made sure everything was okay, asked for us. Always awesome, man, to get those messages. And again, we've built and Double A said it on one of our old episodes, where we have an ECW style fan base, the old Extreme Championship Wrestling, where it was like, man, these same people would go to these shows in Philadelphia or whatever and go and support this small independent wrestling company, which is what he always kind of says we are. We're the band in the garage, we're the indie wrestling company, that's just trying to get up there or whatever. And yeah, we have a small but loyal, and dedicated fan base, and that means a lot. So big thanks also, Joe, to you from Now Watch This, for offering that if I was going to do the event tomorrow, you would have come out and helped me, which I would have definitely needed, for 6 hours. And even offering to help on the show, man. That really does mean a lot, so I appreciate that, man. Again, looking forward to you guys' next episode. I waited all week. I was waiting to hear it. I always look forward to my Now Watch This episodes. I actually had to listen to a little bit of a podcast I haven't listened to in a while, so I got to catch up on some Kevin Smith and some and Joe Rogan. Yes, say what you will about him and his personal thoughts or beliefs, whatever, but he's a great podcaster. That's undeniable, because he is the #1 podcast in the world, and it is an interesting podcast. He had Jim Gaffigan on recently, and it was really, really funny. I love Jim Gaffigan. And they have very different opinions on things, so he doesn't interview just people that believe what he believes. He interviews anybody. So, um, so it was good. Riz says, yeah, be well, homies. Stay invincible. Always, brother, always. Go check out Chris Rizzo's group, Invincible Comics and More, if you have not already. Fantastic and fun group that I love to browse around in. So you want to go and be where we're at, go check us out over there, too. Joe says, I had a fan chase me down at HEB. It was crazy. I 100% believe you. They were probably carrying a summer sausage. I don't know why, but that's probably what happened. Rizzo says, Rogan gets great guests. Yeah, he absolutely gets great guests. Yeah, sometimes I listen to hear the guests and to hear what they have to say and interesting opinions. The Elon episodes are super cool. I did not know really anything about Elon Musk besides him being like a car designer until I heard those episodes, and I was like, this guy seems like a lot of fun. And he's in Austin now, right? I mean, so if he's in Texas like us, I mean, how much can we hate the guy? Joe says, it was me. Yeah, that is very possible. Yeah, that did happen. That's right. I forgot that we had that run in. I thought it was going to be like Stone Cold versus Booker T in the grocery store, Joe, when I saw you for the podcasting rights. You guys go find my man Lucky for me, man. I miss that dude. I haven't seen him or heard him, and I'd like to. And then when we get some outdoor brews in the sun where Omicron dies, and we'll sit far enough away from each other just to put a bucket of beer in between of us. That'd be pretty rad too. Rizzo's Edward Snowden has been awesome. I've heard a lot about that guy's stuff. So yeah, I want to go back and check out some of those episodes. That sounds interesting, right? I mean, the science people he gets on. I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson on there, Mike Tyson, a lot of people. You know what I mean? So Joe says totally rad. Any of you guys off Monday? I'm off Monday, so that makes my Sunday night wide open. So let me know about that. I'm going to be trying to kick the relaxing into high gear after work ends tomorrow at noon, and then go from there. So if there's nothing else, gents, I guess I'll be signing off here. 2 hours and 15. Man, I did a much longer one than I thought. Y'all know I normally do that 30-minute shit, but I was like, you could drag it out now. We got the new way now. We don't take a commercial, and we don't have to cut out any of the comment reading section. And I know that there was no comment read for 2 weeks, so it was time to read some comments. Riz says, who do I got on football this weekend? Man, you're gonna make me pop into the app because I don't even know the games. But let me. I'm gonna take a quick look for you, Riz. That's a great question, and I mentioned football came up earlier. So yeah. So let's see what we got football wise. You guys throw me out your picks while we're discussing. So. So let's see here. Is this the wild card? Patriots and Bills. I'm gonna take the Patriots, obviously. You know what I mean? So Raiders and Bengals. I'm gonna go Bengals on that. I know that the Raiders got that win and everybody was up on it, but the boys over at Collecting Weekly are going live. I get their updates because I subscribe to them. Those guys collect hardcore, and I've been on their after night show. Joe says, good night, fellas. Good night, Joe. Riz, I'll stay here hanging out with you for talking football for a little bit. Eagles and Buccaneers. I'm going to go Buccaneers on that. Don't bet against Tom Brady. I feel like I had these games wrong earlier. Earlier we talked about different games. 49ers and Cowboys. Oh, man, that's tough. That's Jack and Double A's teams. The two hosts you saw last week. You know what? I'm probably going to ride with Double A on this one. And I think his Cowboys will beat the 49ers. So, as much as it pains me to say that. But, yeah. Steelers and Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs on that one. I know Big Ben's going away. Good riddance. Cardinals and Rams. Ooh, man. Cards seem like they lost a little steam. I'm going to go with Cardinals on that one. No, I'm going to go with the Cardinals on that one. Even though they did seem like they lost a little steam at the end, and Rams I feel like they were ramping up, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals. So, yeah, let's see where we match up here, Riz. We got Pats. Yeah, I agree. Bengals, agree. Bucks, definitely. Niners over Cowboys. Okay, I don't disagree with that. I feel like that one is like a lose-lose for me. Is if I pick the Cowboys, well, I didn't want them to win, but they the Niners win. I don't like them either. So, what did we say? Chiefs over Steelers easy, right? Yeah, Steelers has been on the decline. I was hearing that Deshaun Watson might. I don't know if that was a joke that I saw. It might have been looking at the NFL memes site and stuff, but they were saying Deshaun Watson would be a potential contender to go take Ben's place. I'm like, ooh, is he off of the chopping block completely already? I thought he went the way of Antonio Brown, but I mean, I know he was in all that trouble, so yeah. Yeah, definitely that one. And you picked Cardinals over the Rams. Yeah, so we're pretty much all in alignment there, except for the Cowboys game. Believe me, I don't want to see them win because this time will go nuts. But I pick up from a pod partner, So yeah, that's a good one. What else? It says, yeah, I just like to laugh about the Cowboys. The Niners can, the Niners can lose after them. Yeah, for sure, right? The NFC team I root for would be the Buccaneers because I like Tom Brady. So, yeah, I'll take that Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl everybody's been wanting. Why not? But yeah, man. Thanks for coming in, Riz, and joining in on the last leg here. And thank you to all the Friday Nighters and all the Friday Night faithful that came out to talk tonight. Keep me company on a long week and a long time without podcasting. So I worked my voice up to talking, and because I hadn't spoken to you guys in 2 weeks. But yeah, Riz says that would be crazy. Yeah, it would be. I think the NFL would really salivate over that. Who's on bye? Like the Packers, I guess. We didn't talk about the Packers. I guess they get a bye week. Yeah, and then Riz says, "DM you later." Yeah, I guess I didn't need to read that comment, but yes, that'd be cool. Riz, go for it, man. I know we're up at weird hours. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Packers are on bye because it's the wild card, right? So fuck those guys too. I mean, people want to see, an NFC Championship with Brady and Rodgers, right? Didn't we have that one time already? And we know how that turned out. So, fuck it, man. Yeah. Belichick versus Brady Super Bowl. That's my pick. Dream pick. Before Brady gets done and Belichick gets done, go at it one time in the big game. See who really is going to get it all. You know what I mean? I'd root for the Pats because that's my team, and then they would have 7. And then Brady would already have 7, so it's like that's pretty cool. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been missing for 2 weeks, so I'll say it now, guys. There's 2 things I'd like to say at the end of every show, almost, and that is you have something you want to do, a dream, a hope that you want to accomplish. Go out there and seize the day, guys, as so many before us have done, as all of you did today when you came on and chatted with me. Seize the day. And the other thing we like to say is, like the great Captain America says in Endgame, when they have to go back in time and bring back half the world, half the universe, we're going to do this. We got to do whatever it takes. So you also take that approach in your life and do whatever it takes to accomplish those things you want to accomplish to help you seize the day. For just another Friday night, I am CM Chuck, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully back in the Pod Lab with Double A. Everybody 100% across the board is healthy without a shadow of a doubt. Everybody is feeling good. I can report that. But we want to be 100% sure and not put anyone at risk. And again, we will not be at WrestleFest tomorrow, but if you get a chance to go out there and support Oscar and the wrestling shop at Rolling Oaks Mall, please go ahead. Always thankful to all of our guests and contributors, the hosts of Now Watch This, the admin at Invincible Comics and more. Of course, Mario at Authority Comics. We appreciate all you guys so much. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Stay safe. Wear your masks. Get vaccinated. We can't express it enough. Peace and love, guys. Good night.